Then the fur started flying.
Broke through the window, grabbed onto your arm.
I just remember getting scratched, bit, and just really mauled by the cat. I was gushing blood from my arms, hands, everywhere.
Ultimately, you were hospitalized.
This is Judge Judy. 18-year-old Andrea Place is suing her neighbor, 19-year-old Cassandra Tantillo, for damages resulting from a cat attack, pain and suffering, and threats.
Order. All rise. Now, it's case number 165 on the calendar, the matter of Place versus Tantillo.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Place, you and the defendant live in approximately the same area, and it is your claim that on the 19th of June of this year, you were in your home and defendant's cat broke through the screen in your house and attacked you. You also have a cat.
Yes.
And your cat, and you claim the defendant's cat, who was outside, was sort of hissing at each other. And then defendant's cat broke through the window, grabbed onto your arm, and actually you had serious physical injuries because you were hospitalized for a while. The defendant's cat, as it turns out, had not been inoculated. In addition to that, she says that she believes you're responsible for paying her moving expenses because of the incident. She had to move, and it wasn't her cat, and it was probably some fox you were feeding, and that her boyfriend, and I assume that this person is the boyfriend, couldn't have been her cat because her cat was home with the boyfriend all day. Was this a weekday?
Yes.
Do you remember what day of the week it was?
It was June 12th of 2019 on a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Stand up. Over here. Last name?
Morris.
Mr. Morris, how old are you?
I'm 21.
What do you do for a living?
I currently work at Giorgio's Pizza.
How long have you worked for Giorgio's Pizza?
Just a month now. I'm saving up for HVA school.
What were you doing in June? I don't care what were you doing in June of this year?
I think I was just,
It's not that long ago. We're only in September, and you're only 21 years old. So what were you doing in the month of June? That's either school, work, or nothing.
I was landscaping, I think, yes.
Landscaping?
Yes.
For whom?
An older individual that comes into her job by the name of John. Old man. He had me doing a whole bunch of stuff around his property.
Were you doing that full-time or part-time?
Part-time.
What days?
Whenever he called me during the week.
All right. And you were home with the cat all day, playing with the cat?
Yes, I was.
Good.
I was home.
Sit. Don't you feel ridiculous? Yeah, I know. I sort of feel... Stop shaking your foot. I sort of feel sorry for you. That's why I let you off as easily as I did.
Okay.
Okay? Say sorry.
Sorry, Miss Judy.
Good. Perfect. I love it. Now, tell me what happened with the cat.
I was sitting in my mother's bedroom with my 8-month-old son and my 1-year-old sister and her boyfriend watching a movie. I heard the cat outside the window. Oops, sorry.
You were sitting in your bedroom with your baby.
Yes.
And your sister.
My son and my sister are a year apart.
And whose boyfriend?
My mother's boyfriend.
And your mother's boyfriend. I thought you said your sister's boyfriend when she's only one. I said, oh.
No, not at all.
Figuring that out. So you were with your mother's boyfriend, your sister.
And my son.
And your son. Got it.
The defendant's cat had been wandering the neighborhood, so my cat, they were both males, so whenever he would walk by, my cat would kind of like puff up.
How long have you been neighbors?
I want to say I've lived there for 3 years.
And how long have you lived in your place?
About 8.
How long have you had the cat?
2.5.
Hours, days, minutes, years.
2.5 years, sorry.
So you're familiar with what the cat looked like?
Yes.
Just describe the cat to me.
I have pictures of the cat.
I'd like to
He's
see
like
it.
an orange tabby. I want to say, I don't know, like types of cat.
Oh, you took these pictures of her off Facebook?
Snapchat.
Or Snapchat or whatever. Okay, good. So you've had the cat for 2.5 years?
Yes.
Never took the cat to a vet?
He was an indoor cat.
That's either a yes or a no. Does it make any difference whether a cat is an indoor cat or an outdoor cat? Was the cat declawed?
No.
Okay, so you've seen the cat in the neighborhood?
Yes.
So you were sitting at the window?
No, I was sitting on my mother's bed when I heard the cat outside the window. My cat was like laying in the windowsill because he likes to sit there.
Is that the first floor?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I heard the cat outside. I heard like a meow, and like it was kind of like aggressive, and my cat immediately puffed up. He jumped down. When I went to go see what was going on and maybe shut the window, the cat had jumped at my window. His 4 paws were on the screen had sunk in, and then I just remember getting scratched, bit, and just really mauled by the cat.
Did you see what happened to the cat after you threw it off?
I was screaming for my mother. I told her to run and go get the hose to get the cat to run away, because that's what we had been doing. We were just spraying it so it would run and, like, leave the house, because it was kind of tormenting my cat. After I ran out after the attack, and I went to assess my injuries and kind of get away, because both the young babies had witnessed. Looked down, and my hand had immediately swelled and turned purple, and I was gushing blood from both sides of my arms, hands, everywhere. I have pictures of that day.
I'll see them in a second. Ultimately, you were hospitalized.
Yes, I immediately went to the hospital after the attack. They put me on antibiotic and casted me and sent me home. They told me to return in 2 days if the swelling got worse or did not go down. They told me to follow up with my primary care practitioner.
Don't tell me what else they told you unless you have medical records.
I do.
I'd like to see them. This report says that you were bitten and scratched by a stray cat that was unvaccinated. By that time, that was on June 12th, and it says you were bitten and scratched by a stray cat and her own cat, which was vaccinated.
Yes.
So your own cat bit you as well?
He had tried to jump in when...
Don't tell me, but your own cat bit you as well?
Yes, he scratched me.
Then she was, just for your information, what's your last name? Tantillo. She was readmitted to the hospital on June 15th to give IV antibiotics. You understand that? You understand that your boyfriend was not home all day with your cat. You understand that because do you understand that? You understand he was not home all... That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
Perfect. When was the first time that Miss Place or someone contacted you about your cat? Give me the date.
I can't remember a set date. It was a few days after, and we got an eviction notice.
I don't care about your eviction notice. I care about when someone from Miss Place's family contacted you.
No one their family has not contacted me.
Ever?
Nope.
No one has ever presented you, texted you, told you what this case... The first thing you've heard about this is when you were served with a summons in this case. Is that correct?
No.
When for the first time did you contact her?
It wasn't the defendant directly. Right after my accident, my neighbor had heard my screams and immediately went and got the defendant's mother and her boyfriend. They came down to my house to look at my injuries and to kind of assess what happened.
Just a second. Up! Morris! Now, you've already apologized for lying to me once. Is not an answer.
Yes.
So we're not going to do that again because the next time is not going to be so pleasant for you, and I'm sure you have family, right?
Yes, Miss Judy.
Perfect. Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
Judge Scheindlin. Either one. On the 12th of June, was your girlfriend's mother at home with you?
Yes, she was.
Did you and the defendant's mother... No.
Did you say I have occasions?
Did you have occasion on June 12th
Yes.
to go to the house? And did you see her injuries?
Yes, I did.
And did you, of course you did, tell your girlfriend on June 12th that you had seen the injuries?
Yes, I did.
Is not an answer.
Sorry. Yes, Judge Judy.
Did you tell her by phone, text, or in person?
I think I walked to her job and let her know afterwards because her mother had called her also.
When your mother called you, pay careful attention to me. When your mother called you, what did she say?
She was just...
No.
She was saying about how they said that my cat... They were just saying how...
What did she say?
My mom was
It's
saying...
very easy. Pick up the phone. I call her. She's going to tell me what she said to you.
Yes.
So, what did she say when she called you?
My mom was saying that my cat attacked their cat,
Good.
supposedly.
Sit down. No, your mother didn't say supposedly.
Yes, she
No,
did.
your mother didn't say supposedly.
Okay.
That's why she called you. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. You're evicted. It's your own problem. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It is what it is at the end of the day.
I think she made the right decision.
People around my neighborhood say that she feeds the foxes.
I don't feed foxes. I watch them out my window. I'm not that dumb.
Get your pets vaccinated, definitely.
For them to lie and boggling.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Miller versus Hughes Miller. Step forward, please.
Stephen Miller is suing his daughter, 25-year-old Sarah Miller, and her fiancé, 22-year-old Thaddeus Hughes, for an unpaid loan for a down payment on a home.
Mr. Miller, this young lady is your daughter. The gentleman is her boyfriend, and they have a child together, and it is your claim that you made a loan to them. You want it paid back.
You're correct.
They have a stupid counterclaim. They say it was a gift and some ridiculousness about emotional distress. How old are you, Miss Miller?
25.
How many children do you have?
1.
How old?
11 months.
Do you work?
Yeah.
For whom?
I'm a bartender.
How long have you been doing that?
About 8 months.
And what about you, Mr. Hughes? How old are you?
22.
And this is your only child?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Right now I'm working at, it's like a tire shop and service shop, but I just do tires.
How long have you been working there?
Not that long, maybe a month.
What did you do before that?
I worked at a warehouse.
For how long?
Like 4.5 years, I think.
You wanted to buy a house. You didn't have money for the down payment.
Yeah.
Who went to Mr. Miller to ask him for money?
Nobody.
You or your girlfriend?
Nobody went to him. He came with us to look at a house.
Place and said, think we're going to go look at a house today?
No.
Well, how did it come about?
I mean, we just told him about it, and he was like, okay, I would like to go.
So,
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
at my age, you've seen every scenario. You know every story. There are very few stories under the sun. There are no three-headed rabbits. Do you understand?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stephen Miller is suing his daughter, Sarah Miller, and her fiancé, Thaddeus Hughes, for a loan for a down payment on a home. The defendants are countersuing for emotional distress.
Now, who told him that you wanted to go and look at a house?
We both brought it up to him because we were in a bad spot, and we mentioned that we wanted to get a place of our own.
Had you been renting, or you been living with somebody else?
We were living with my mom.
And how long has it been since they've been together?
My parents?
Yes.
Years.
Okay. So you both went to your father and said, we'd like to get a place of our own.
And he offered to go with us to look at places.
No, not offered. We'd like to get a place of our own. Now, there's a reason that you told him and not your mother.
More money than my mom does, and he was a contractor.
Because he has more money. So when you told him you wanted a house of your own, you didn't go to your mother with whom you had been living, the two of you, and the baby, right? You went to your father because he had more money. That's what I'm saying to you. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Hughes? At my age, you've seen every scenario. You know every story. There are very few stories under the sun. There are no three-headed rabbits. Do you understand?
I understand.
It's all the same. So you wanted a place of your own. You didn't have any money. Her mother wasn't an option. I assume your family wasn't an option.
May I say something? We weren't necessarily looking for money when we had asked him to come with us.
Did you have any money?
I had credit and enough money for that.
Just a second. I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to make you go get it for me, which is a bank statement. How much money did you have?
I had money saved up. I had to give them bank statements.
Just a second. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to make you go get it. Now, at the time that he was going to look at this house with you that you ultimately bought, right? Because you had been looking. Is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Better. How much money had you saved?
I had about a little under $1,000 saved for a down payment.
So let's say you had $900 saved.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
You had already looked at the house before he went to look at it with you.
Yes, ma'am. They told us that.
Yes, that's a yes. You had looked at this house before.
Yeah, online.
You had been at the house.
He came with us the
Yeah,
first time.
he came with us the first time we looked at the house. Other than that, I'd seen it online.
And how much was the house?
$90,000.
Had you gone to a bank?
Yes.
Before you went to look for the house?
Yes.
And you spoke to them about your income. Who were you working for then?
Staples Distribution.
And you were still working as a bartender?
I didn't have a job at the time.
How much did they say that you needed a down payment of for the $90,000 house?
$4,200 or $4,100. I'm sorry.
Which you didn't have.
No.
And that's when you asked him to go and look at this house with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Perfectly sensible story. And you bought the house.
I did.
And your father gave you how much money?
$4,100, the amount of the down payment.
Now, what kind of work does your father do?
Right now, he works at IKEA.
Work for IKEA?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you own your own home?
I do.
When you gave your daughter and her boyfriend the $4,100 down payment, Where did you take the money from?
I withdrew it from my account and immediately went to her bank and deposited it into her account.
From a savings account?
Yes, I just did a refi on my house. So the money wasn't even really mine. It was for home improvements for my house.
And took out some cash?
Correct.
From your house?
Correct.
And when had you done that refinance?
The end of 2018.
In what month had you given your daughter and her boyfriend this $4,100?
I believe March.
March of 19?
Yes.
Did you start the remodeling of your house before you gave your daughter and her boyfriend the money?
Yes.
Did you ever discuss the fact with your daughter and her boyfriend that you had refinanced your house and had this cash?
That I don't recall that conversation.
What made you think your father had more money than your mother?
Because I know how his financial status is.
Well, tell me how you know.
He's a smart man. He's always been able to save money. My mom hasn't.
Now, of the $4,100, did you pay any money of that back to your father?
I didn't.
Did you? That's a yes or a no?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have a ridiculous counterclaim. It is your claim that your father called Child Protective Services to list himself as an alternative resource.
Yes.
Good for him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stephen Miller is suing his daughter, Sarah Miller, and her fiancé, Thaddeus Hume. The defendants are countersuing for emotional distress.
Now, you made no payment to him. Didn't give him any money. After he gave you the down payment, you didn't make any payments to him. Is that correct?
First, it was $4,300, and they made 3 payments back to me at $100 apiece.
And how did they pay you?
2 was cash, and finally the second one, I got them set up to be able to pay me through their bank directly into my bank through Zelle.
Of $100?
Yes, and that was the last payment I received.
You have a $100 proof that money went from their bank to your bank. And that refresh your recollection?
It does.
Good. I'm glad it refreshed your recollection. You owe your father $4,100. Now, you have a ridiculous counterclaim, which I'm going to entertain in 2 seconds. In what month did the Child Protective Services open up a case on your baby?
I don't even know. A couple months ago.
Did you ever tell your father about that?
Mm-hmm, I did.
You did? You told your father that someone had, either someone or a pediatrician or someone had called in a report that the child was somehow being neglected?
I did.
When did you tell him that?
When it happened. The day they showed up at my door. It wasn't neglect, though. Somebody called and said that there had been drug use in my home.
So they showed up at your door in what month?
July.
And subsequently, it is your claim that is to list himself as an alternative resource.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good for him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, if Child Protective Services opens up a case on you, what you're supposed to do is give them every potential relative. And according to you, your father is a smart man, always knows how to manage his money. My mother, not so smart.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're, not a no-huh. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to list all people that if Child Protective Services determine that the child has to be removed from your home, the child can go to a smart person instead of going into a foster care system. So if you told your father that someone had reported drug use in your home and subsequently he called Child Protective Services and said, I want to be listed as a resource, is that what you told me in your answer?
Yes.
That's what you told me. And I say, that's not a complaint. You should say thank you. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,100. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next...
She's pulled over by 12 cops.
I was also held at gunpoint.
We had an active felony warrant. They also found a meth pipe, and you were taken into custody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie.
Judge Judy.
I just think it's pretty messed up that he's going to do it to his own daughter.
Well, she came to the correct decision.
I would never sue my own child.
Just got into a slight argument, and we ended up here.
I want him to have a relationship with my son.
I'm happy. That's what I want.
I'm glad it's over.
Never lend money to a family member ever again.
A simple transaction
This is a car trade.
gets super complicated.
They reported the car stolen.
And a rough road was ahead.
She's driving her car, and she's pulled over by 12 cops.
Your Honor, I was also held at gunpoint.
We had an active felony warrant.
Yes, ma'am.
They also found a meth pipe when they searched the vehicle, and you were taken into custody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie.
This is Judge Judy.
Jessica Salmonen is suing LaDonna Brosh and her husband, John Clough, for having her falsely arrested and then unlawfully taking her car and her property.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Jessica is Brosh Clough. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
You knew each other before this car trade?
Yes, Your Honor.
For how long?
No, we didn't, Your Honor. I had just met her.
Yeah, we just met her.
At the car trade. Maybe like a week before that.
I don't want to hear both of you. Who's going to speak for your end? Pick a person.
Maybe about a week before that.
Did you make up your mind that he's speaking for you? This is going to be one of those cases, Officer Byrd, where you're going to find that these two people, or three people, deserve each other. So this was a car trade.
Yes,
This was a car trade. You didn't have to answer. That was a statement, not a question. You traded your
Chrysler 200, 2011.
to the defendants for their
Mercedes-Benz 2000 SUV.
and you signed off titles, correct?
Correct.
And the date you signed off the titles was what date?
April 26th
Of this year?
of last year.
Last year, 2018. And where exactly physically did that title switching take place?
At their house in North...
And your house?
Correct.
And you had never met each other before?
That is not true, Your Honor.
How did you meet each other before?
From their son. I've known them for over 12 years. They lived in Rush City, where I also had resided.
She knew
They
our
said
son.
they didn't know.
She didn't know us.
So this is what happened, Bert, based upon unintelligible complaint and answer. A sale was completed on the 26th of April of 2018. It was a sale by trade.
Right.
What they didn't know, and she didn't tell them, was that there were outstanding loans on the Chrysler 2000.
Your Honor, that is not true.
Then why did we pull?
Hey! That's what they say.
Right.
That there was a trade, their Mercedes, her Chrysler 2011, but her Chrysler, there was money owed on her Chrysler. How much money? Just give me a figure. How much money?
Was owed still?
Was owed still on the Chrysler?
8,000 or 9.
Excuse me. You got
8
her.
to
It was
9.
12,000.
Sure, just 12,000 is still owed on the Chrysler. So they wake up a couple of months later, and the car is repossessed.
It was like a week later, ma'am.
A weekly. Car is repossessed.
Got it.
So now she's got the Mercedes. They have no Chrysler because there was $12,000 owed on the Chrysler. She doesn't answer their calls. You know, this is a, I don't want to know from you.
Your Honor.
And I'm speaking. And so they
Did it after informing her that we were going to?
don't interrupt me.
Okay.
She's driving her car, and she's pulled over by 12 cops and arrested. Shh. We're not talking Phil here. We're talking a courtroom. She's pulled over and arrested on the stolen car.
Your Honor, I was also held at gunpoint.
So you were held at gunpoint.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you, this is a they deserve each other. She sold them a car on which there was $12,000 owed. They gave her a perfectly usable car on which there was no money owed, right? Now they're without a car.
Your Honor.
I'm speaking.
Okay.
So they say, well, we don't have a car anymore, so we can call and say she stole our car. You know you can't do that.
Was it like
Now,
that,
listen,
sir? Or ma'am?
Let me explain to you. On the 26th of April, 2018, you no longer had any interest in the 2000 Mercedes-Benz. You could not call in a report that your car was stolen. That's calling in a false police report.
Nope, the police officer told me to do that, ma'am.
Yep.
Just a second. You can't tell me what the police officer told you, because if the police officer told you that, he should have gone to a different law school, one that they didn't use on matchbook covers.
Well, then...
Just a second. You can't tell me that. It's hearsay anyway. And no police authority has been completed, and you no longer have any interest in a car or a piece of property, and you didn't like the deal because you didn't ask enough questions. Just pay attention.
I did.
We did ask her if it was a free and clear title, and she said yes.
That is
listen to me.
Listen
to me. Hey, that's your responsibility.
And I did that.
Listen to me. That's your responsibility. If I buy a car, I have to find out whether or not there's a lien on the car. Do you have the title?
No. Nope.
Did she give you the title? Just a second. Did she give... I'm not looking at you.
Okay.
You have to understand, you're not going to win any money in this case. Zippity-doo-dah. Because you traded a car on which you owed $12,000, and I don't believe that you told them that. This is going to end up with zero. Now, it's your responsibility to look.
Correct.
And your responsibility to vet that car.
Correct.
And you didn't do it.
Correct.
But you have no right to call in a report of a stolen vehicle because she did not steal the car. You weren't an efficient purchaser. So you had no right to use the police. Just like, you know, you have no right to use any separate gain. You have the right.
Police orders, they told me to do it because it was still in our name after 30 days, which is the law.
If she would have transferred the title on her name.
I tried.
Listen, not right away you didn't, because we wouldn't have been able to do nothing.
How did...
You're gone.
Okay, well...
You, out.
Well, whatever.
Out.
Tell them all of it. Because if you would have transferred it, you wouldn't have been able to do nothing about it.
You guys took the bottom of my title. That's how they got a new title.
No, he didn't.
Listen to me.
We had to go to the previous
There is
owner.
no question in my mind that you traded cars, as you told me, on April 26th. At that point, the sale completed, finished. His responsibility to look up and find out whether or not there was money out on the car. There's no question that you committed fraud, moral fraud. You sold a car on which you owed over $10,000. And as a result of that, you ended up with a car and they ended up with nothing. Now, if I were looking back at this, I'm saying, listen, I'm not in a court. How can I fix this without going to court and suing her? I'm speaking.
Yep.
I'll call and report the vehicle stolen. Now, if she hadn't registered the car in 30 days, it is possible if she hadn't registered the car, therefore the car is still in your name. Why didn't you register the car?
I tried to. When I gave him...
No, you tried to, and?
And it was card, and the bottom that should be right here, the day that I gave him my title, and they knew the lien was on there. They were going to pay it to help me out because I could no longer take payments. That's why I took a vehicle that was only a 2000 Mercedes.
That's a lot.
My vehicle had 74,000 on it.
That's a lot.
They were going
to pay $12,000 on your car? What are you, crazy?
They wanted a new vehicle.
What are you, crazy? They wanted a new vehicle? So for an 8-year-old car, they gave you they're running 2000 Mercedes.
My vehicle ran
Listen to
them.
me. Zero.
It needed
Now,
work.
do you have a car?
No.
What happened to the Mercedes?
After it's
What?
gone. They have it.
No, we don't, Your Honor.
Where is the Mercedes?
After I got it back and I fixed it, I resold it.
Okay, so you got just a second. So you got the Mercedes back.
Correct. After I went through the process of getting everything fixed.
So you got, just a second.
Yep.
So you got the Mercedes back.
Yep.
You got the Mercedes back and you sold it. So in effect, you still have the Mercedes or the money from it.
Correct.
Because I don't believe you. If I asked you how much you sold it for, you're not going to tell me how much you got for it. I know. I'm not going to believe you, so it doesn't make any difference unless you have a bill of sale from the person you sold it to, do you?
Nope.
No. Okay. So you have a car. You don't have a car. Look up the value, please, of 2 different cars for me. One is a Mercedes-Benz 2000. What kind was it?
ML430?
Mercedes-Benz ML430.
It had 270,000 miles.
2000. Am I
sorry.
not speaking?
2330.
And would you look up a 2011 Chrysler
200.
200?
With 74,000 miles.
6,352.
$6,000. So what you want me to believe is that they took over a $12,000 loan on a car that was worth $6,000. I just want you to... You want me to believe that these people, who you knew casually over the years, took over your $12,000 loan?
They wanted to help me. No, excuse me, Mom, I said that wrong. They said that they would help me by taking over the loan.
No.
And I would take... And I would take a vehicle that was less.
Just a second. These people are not giving you a gift of $6,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You called in a police report of a stolen vehicle.
But it's after I was informed to.
Hey, I didn't ask you a question. I told you something.
And I was telling you.
That's hysterical.
And later today.
That's his car. That's the gray Buick Park Avenue. Want to go up there and see it again?
I knew what I hit.
Well, clearly not, because you denied it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Salmonen says John Clough had her falsely arrested and then unlawfully took back a car he traded to her. The defendant is countersuing for towing and impound fees and tools.
Now, these two people who I only just met are not helping you out by taking over your $12,000 debt on a car that they could go to the corner and buy from a used car lot for $6,000. You got it? I don't believe that. So there's no question in my mind that you didn't tell them about this debt.
I did, ma'am.
Ma'am, this explains it all. This is the police report from when she got picked up with the stolen vehicle, and she does nothing but lie through the whole paperwork on when she bought it, when she got the car from me, everything.
No, I have
false information.
I have the police report.
I'd like
ma'am.
False information.
I want to see
everything.
the police report. I'll see them both.
And also the thing
see what I
showing
mean?
that
See what I mean about deserving each other, Bird?
Police
Sir,
report.
You may think so,
Mr.
but
Clough. Mr. Clough, let me tell you something. Right now, you're not in a bad place.
Yep.
You got your car back, you sold it, and as far as I'm concerned, you called in a police report of a stolen vehicle, and she was arrested at gunpoint.
But it was after I was informed to.
Hey, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. I didn't ask you a question. I told you something.
And I was telling you something.
Oh, really? That's hysterical. At the time they pulled you over, you had an active felony warrant. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie. And at the time they pulled you over with your active felony drug warrant, you gave them a wrong name.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And you were taken into custody.
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
I paid the bail.
They also found a meth pipe when they searched the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So you don't have your car anymore?
No, ma'am.
And her car was worth $2,000, $2,330.
No, the car that she...
It was the Mercedes, ma'am.
6,000. The one that she...
Oh, the car that she gave them was $6,000.
Right, 6,000.
But actually, she didn't have any equity in that car because she still owed $12,000 on it.
I owed less than that, ma'am.
Show me.
Still ahead was $10,000.
Okay, so you had no equity in the car?
No.
No equity in the car.
Some, yes,
okay. We're done. I've sort of read people who really deserve each other. I don't believe for one second that this man gave you a gift of either $5,000 or $6,000.
Ma'am, I never said that. He never gave me a gift.
No, it would have been a gift. Too much smoking.
No.
It must have been, listen, madam, if you have a car on which you owe $10,000 and the car is only worth $6,000, then if somebody takes that off your hand, they're giving you a gift because they have to pay $4,000. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that there is a possibility, albeit a slim possibility, you were advised that if the car had not been registered within 30 days of the sale,
correct,
that you could, in fact, report it stolen.
Correct.
Because then it was still under your name, and you could still be responsible if something happened with the car. So there is that possibility.
Ma'am,
so
it originally was not in his name.
So the only... I'm going to make this as simple as possible for both of you. When you come into court, there's a doctrine. It's called the doctrine of clean hands, which means when you come into court and ask the court to help you, you're supposed to come in with clean hands.
Correct.
Neither one of you had it.
Ma'am, they stole everything.
So I'm
I
done.
owned.
Finished. Your case is dismissed. As is your counter suit. We're finished.
Thank you.
Bye.
They stole everything I owned out of my vehicle, even with my property of my dad.
There was a lien I asked you 5, 6 times. Is it free, clear title?
They stole everything I owned, and they got away with stealing from somebody.
Yes, yes. My fault for not looking right away.
Not to do anything with our kids' friends.
Everything I owned, and I'm done.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Wallace versus Kolaski. Step forward.
Richard Wallace is suing motorist Joffrey Kolosky for backing into his car in a parking lot.
Mr. Kolaski, I'm going to start with you, sir. You don't know Mr. Wallish.
No, I don't. Not at all.
Mr. Wallish says that you hit his parked car.
Yes.
And that was in March of this year. Do you remember the date in March?
March the 3rd, Sunday.
Okay. And it was hit in a parking lot?
Yes.
What parking lot?
The YMCA in the handicap spot.
And you were parked in the handicapped spot?
Yes, I was.
Do you go to that gym, Mr. Kolaski?
I do.
Were you there on March 3rd?
Yes.
Now, I've read the complaint and I've read the answer. Mr. Wallish did not see who hit his car, but someone hit his car in the parking lot, and there are no witnesses here. Mr. Wallish says that he has a video of your car hitting his car. What kind of car do you have?
I have a 2003 Buick Park Avenue.
What color?
It's gray.
Do you remember how many cars were parked in the parking lot that day?
Well, I need to clarify something here. I go there at 5 a.m., okay?
No. You have to...
He said that...
No, don't tell me what he said.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Watch his car, not the sign. Watch his car.
How far he moved it from the sign?
See his car?
I saw the car.
It moved.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Richard Wallish is suing motorist Joffrey Kolaski for backing into his car in a parking lot.
Now, I asked you if you knew how many cars were parked in the parking lot that day.
Maybe about 20.
And you were driving a 2003 Buick Park Avenue gray, both in the parking lot. Where was your car hit, Mr. Wallish?
The front bumper.
So someone backed into you?
Yes, he did. He hit there's a portable handicap sign. He smashed into that and smashed into my car.
And the sign smashed into your car?
No, the car did too.
Okay, and that's what the video was going to show?
Oh, you bet.
May I see it, please?
You bet.
Did you know this video existed?
No, I did not.
I told him I had it.
That was your,
That's my
that is your
blue
car.
It's him pulling in, almost hits me as he pulls in.
But he didn't. That's his car. That's the gray Buick Park Avenue. Want to go up there and see it again, Mr. Kolaski?
Excuse me?
Want to go up there and see it again?
No, I saw it. I saw it.
And you'll see him getting out of the car. You can clearly see it's him. And that's about it there.
You don't even go and see if there was any damage to your car?
I knew what I hit.
Well, clearly not, because you denied it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You don't even go and see if there was any damage to your car?
I hit the handicap sign.
No, you want to see
proof.
You want to see it again?
Fine.
Let's take a look at it again. I need to see it again. I need to see it again.
You know what? This is all...
I need to see it again.
This is all comes on me now. I've never seen this before in my life.
Well, we're going to watch it again.
Okay.
Watch his car, not the sign. Watch his car.
How far he moved it.
See his car?
I saw the car.
It moved.
It moved.
You didn't even walk to the back of the car to see if you did any damage. Can I see the estimate for fixing the car?
Your Honor, he wouldn't even give the St. Paul Police his insurance.
Thank you. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,038.38. Thank you very much. We're done here.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She knew my criminal history before I even moved in.
Did you post this?
Yes, I did.
Considering your history, this is pretty dumb.
Next Judge Judy.
I've never seen any of the stuff that he has.
I told him I had the video. He wouldn't even give the St. Paul Police his insurance information.
What I remember hitting the sign.
He's been stonewalling from the beginning.
I'm challenging if his car is even damaged.
I don't want nothing to do with the guy. I'm glad it's over and done.
I wish he would have told me all this stuff. I would have gladly given him my insurance information.
I can move on and get my car fixed.
Your dog got out.
A neighbor opens up after an attack.
I saw it for my dog. It had my dog by the muzzle and the mouth.
But their story isn't so open and shut.
You opened your door.
I did not open the door, Your Honor.
It's not what your husband said. Sit. Sit. You either didn't tell the truth or you made it up.
This is Judge Judy.
Gerald Olson is suing his neighbor, Arnie Mayo, for vet bills, grooming costs, and damages from a dog attack.
Order. All rise. It's case number 112 on the calendar, the matter of Olson versus Mayo.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Olson, you have 2 dogs, and you were walking your dogs, I assume, on a leash.
Yes, ma'am.
You passed the defendant's house during the course of that walk, so I assume
Yes,
you live in relatively close proximity to each other. And it is your claim that when you were walking your 2 dogs on a leash, Mr. Mayo's wife opened the door, let their dog out, and you say that Mr. Mayo's dog attacked yours. Mr. Mayo says that your dogs, despite the fact that they were on leash, were on his property, and his dog was in fact injured as well as one of your dogs. I think all 3 dogs were injured because you had to try to separate them. So they all went to the vet, so you're suing and countersuing each other for the vet bills. Were you at home, Mr. Mayo, when this happened?
I was upstairs, Your Honor.
Just a second.
So
my
the
answer
is...
Shh.
I was at home.
The answer is yes. Did you witness the event?
No, Your Honor, but my wife witnessed the whole thing.
I want you just to answer me. The answer is no, I didn't.
No.
You witnessed the event.
Yes, I did.
Well, then you can change places with him.
Change place.
Perfect. This incident occurred on the 13th of June of last year?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me why you waited a year to sue them?
Well, ma'am, in my jurisdiction of the County of San Diego, the San Diego Animal Control was losing the contract with Animal Control, so the interactions and reports went to the Humane Society of San Diego, and it took me 4.5 months to get the report from the Humane Society because the Animal Control people kicked it off to them.
The animal control people were not witnesses to the event.
No, but I reported it to them, Your Honor.
Well, what'd you need the report for to file the lawsuit?
I needed the report to substantiate my dog's injuries and what really happened in this event, Your Honor.
Well, may I see that report?
Yes, ma'am. Control's report, and there's my written statement to Animal Control.
No, I don't want your written statement.
There you go.
Okay, so you each called. You called on the 13th, he called on the 15th.
Right.
Okay.
May I show you where this happened, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah, if I may, thank you. This is Tanaha Lane, the street that we both live on. This is the defendant's house. That's my residence right there. I was walking my dogs up the street. When I got about right here, I saw the garage door open on their residence. 2 ladies walked out into the front yard, which is this grassy area here. And then when I kept walking with my dogs, I was walking in the middle of the street, Your Honor. I got around right parallel to both ladies.
Why were you walking in the middle of the street? Middle of the street is where the cars travel?
Not at that time of the day.
Why were you walking in the middle of the street?
Because when I walk down their side, they have a sidewalk in front of their house. There's no sidewalk on my side of the street.
Your Honor, you got a statement.
Shh, I don't want you to do that again.
Your Honor, I didn't want to walk past his side on the sidewalk again because his dog's always barking and growling and scratching at the gate when I walk by with my 2 dogs.
Okay, what kind of gate is there?
It's just a wooden gate that's just to the right of his front door of his residence. Anyway, when the 2 ladies were here, I was about even with them, and then out of the garage, out the driveway, and he beelined it right for my dogs. So when I saw him out of the corner of my eye, I turned around and I squared up and I got another wrap on both leashes. And I pulled my dogs back. The dog lunged right into my pit bull, and they were both on hind legs fighting for several seconds. And then after they got down on all fours, the plaintiff's dog is a Dalmatian. It had my dog by the muzzle and the mouth. I couldn't get them apart. I couldn't pull them apart, Your Honor.
Got it.
I tried to kick the dog 2 times. The dog wouldn't let go. I looked over at the lady, this lady here, Josephine. I looked over her and the other lady, and I told them, come get your dog. Come help me get your dog. They just looked at me. They had they said nothing. They did nothing.
Okay.
Then I maced the dog in the face with my canister of mace.
Okay. You opened your door. You were going to work?
No, not me. I did not open the door, Your Honor.
Who opened the door?
My mom came for a visit that morning.
And?
And she opened the door. And the dog...
No, that's not what your husband said at all.
Yes.
It's not what your husband said. It said, my wife, Josephine, was going to work, and she opened the door. That's what your husband said. So I'm just telling you what he wrote. And he corrected it because it says was doing housework. And then he corrected it just now and said, my wife, Josephine, was going to let out our Dalmatian Harry on our property. Well, that's what he wrote. So why don't you not let him take care of business if he doesn't know what he's talking about?
No, that's not what happened, Your Honor. This is what happened. I was getting ready to work at 8 o'clock. My mom came. She always visits in the morning to do yard work in the front. So she opened the door, the Dalmatian...
Front door?
The front door. She opened the front door. And the Dalmatian always have a habit of greeting my mom, putting 2 hands here on her shoulder. My mom...
Where were you when your mom opened the door?
I was right there.
In the garage.
Just a second.
In the garage.
Sit. Sit. You don't know what you're talking about. You wrote this thing, and according to your wife, you either didn't tell the truth or you made it up.
I was in the garage, Your Honor.
Understand this. You were in the garage.
Yes.
Was the garage door... Listen to me. The garage door was open.
Yes.
And you were in the garage getting into your car?
No.
What were you doing in the garage?
I was trying to warm up my car, and I stood...
Just a second. In June...
In June?
In June, you were warming up your car?
Yes, June 13,
What kind of a car do you have?
I have a Honda SUV.
You have a Honda? How old is your Honda?
A year old.
Let me understand what you want me to believe, Miss Mayo. Okay? What he wrote was not true, and what you're telling me is not true. No, what you just told me is not true. That in the month of June, you got into a car in June and started it to warm it up.
Yes.
And then got out of the car and was standing in the garage.
Your Honor, I was not inside the car. I opened the door, I click. That's it. And then I went in the front yard.
Now, listen to me. You can't start a car that way. You have to have your foot on the brake.
I did not start, Your Honor. All I did was turn on the engine.
I don't believe you because it sounds stupid.
She's getting ready to work, ma'am. That's why she warmed up the car. She started the car to go to work.
Speak again. I don't believe you. I want you to start with that premise. The story that you just told me about clicking your car and opening the door.
I did not open the door, Your Honor. My mom opened the door.
No, to the garage. You opened.
I opened the garage door.
And the car door.
And the car door, and then I clicked the engine, and I left. I left it like that.
Just a second. You clicked the engine, which doesn't start the car, because you can't start the car without your foot on the brake. So you clicked it, so you're draining the battery. All you're doing, if you turn it on like that, all you're doing is draining the battery. Am I right about that? Because any car that I ever owned, you couldn't go like this and start up the engine. You can go like this and click it if you're not in the car with your foot on the brake, and you can get the battery going.
Oh, can I say something else?
No! You can get the battery going, but you don't start the... So I don't believe that whole bull story that you're giving me. Now, your dog got out. I don't care if it was kissing your mother all over her face. I don't care if it was loving her up with its paws on her shoulders. It got out of your control. The dog got out of your control without the leash because his dogs clearly didn't come into your house. His dogs didn't come into
His dog was in our property, Your Honor. He was walking the dog. His dog, his 2 dogs.
He was
one
walking
pit bull and one chow on the left hand. On the right hand, he has a baseball bat. His dog got out of control. This dog was walking him. He's not walking the dog. The dog was walking him. Got out of control, attacked the Dalmatian that was there beside my mom who was doing the yard work. And then I saw the pit bull.
Just a second. First you told me that the Dalmatian, your mother opened the front door. Your mother opened the front door and the Dalmatian put its paws on her shoulders, was kissing her. Somehow between then and the time this happened, your mother started doing the yard work.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And that's what she did.
Can I see your vet bill?
Your Honor, we have some. Your Honor, we have some.
No, I just want to see your vet bill.
Your Honor.
Were you there? Just a second. Were you there? My question. Were you?
I'm trying to answer.
Just say yes or no. I was there or I was not there.
I was there to witness another incident that happened
Yes,
with
Your
him.
Honor, right here.
And we actually have
just
video
a second.
evidence.
I didn't ask you about any other incident. I asked you about this. Listen, you have to understand. I think that anybody that owns a pit bull is crazy. I think that anybody that owns
Your Honor,
a pit
my
bull...
dog is not My dog is a beagle pit bull, Your Honor.
Right. Good.
It's not a pure pit bull.
Good.
I see a Dalmatian attack a pit bull.
Ask. Listen.
I don't believe, Your Honor, a Dalmatian attack a pit bull.
Outside. Out. 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 I think that anybody that owns a pit bull is crazy. But that's your prerogative. I just want to ask you this, sir. In addition to the mace, did you also have a baseball bat?
No, ma'am. I bought the
just
bat
the mace.
later.
Shh. What?
I bought the bat the day after the incident because I was advised not to use mace anymore.
So now you walk your dogs with a baseball bat.
Your Honor, I walk my dogs one at a time, leash in my left hand, with the dog on my left, and a baseball bat in my right.
That sounds loving and warm, just like a pet should be.
Judge Judy continues.
Dog walks on your property?
Yes, right
I'd love
here.
to see the video. Just give it to Officer Berg.
So I bought this surveillance camera after this happened, Your Honor.
I don't want you to speak again. You'll wind up with him.
All right.
And later today,
The counterclaim is that she posted your arrest record on the internet.
Well, she posted what I was arrested for and what I was in jail for.
So my question is, was it true?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gerald Olson says neighbor Arnie Mayo owes for a dog attack. Arnie is countersuing for vet bills.
Listen, your dog was out of your control. You have to pay his vet bill.
Your Honor, we also have evidence on video.
Yes,
of
Your
him
Honor,
walking
we have
on our
evidence
property.
right here. That his dog walks on our
Multiple
property
times.
all the time.
I don't want you to speak.
Right.
You have evidence that his dog walks on your property?
Yes, right-
I'd
right
love
here.
to, just a second, not that. I'd love to see the video. Just give it to Officer Berg.
So I bought this surveillance camera after this happened, Your Honor. Just letting you know.
I don't want you to speak again. You'll wind up with him.
All right.
He's in the street.
Yeah. He's in the street. No,
Right there, Your Honor.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's a dog going on a lawn for a second. That would be ridiculous. Is that what you want me to see? What was your vet bill, sir?
$212.45, Your Honor, and I also was seeking pain and suffering for Lily, my pit bull.
$212.45. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's an unfortunate incident that happened,
His dog was the one that attacks our dog.
and their dog got off leash.
It's a pit bull. It's a vicious dog.
Whenever your dog gets off leash, bad things can happen.
No, I want his dog to put to sleep.
Keep your dog on a leash, and it'll all come out to the happy ending, and everyone's happy.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Stevens versus Russell. Step forward.
Diane Stevens is suing her cousin, Donald Russell III, for a loan for bail. Donald is countersuing for defamation of character and slander.
Mr. Russell, you know what this case was about. It's about your cousin who says that you owe her for bail in an incident that you were arrested for.
It's kind of hard to say.
It's hard to say what you were arrested for?
Yeah, it was false allegations.
What happened with the case?
It was dismissed.
In what month?
It was dismissed in the month of August.
And you were bailed out sometime in March?
Correct.
And you had already been in jail for several weeks at
Correct.
the time you were bailed out. How much was your bail?
I believe it was $50,000 cash assured.
And was this your first time in jail?
No.
How do you think Miss Stevens is going to tell me she found out that you were in jail?
She actually found out through my wife.
Is that how you found out he was in jail?
No.
How did you find out that he was in jail?
He called me collect, and his girlfriend, Lillian, when I called her and asked her about it, because that's not his wife, it's his girlfriend, Lillian.
Why don't you just answer my question?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did she post this before or after she asked you to please pay her back her money?
She posted it before.
Before she asked you back for your money?
Correct.
Oh, I don't believe that at all. Why in the world would this woman post your bail, but before she posts your bail, post your arrest record?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Diane Stevens is suing her cousin. Donald Russell is countersuing for defamation of character and slander.
How did you find out that he was in jail?
He called me collect.
On what date?
It was May.
It was May?
Yes.
So you were arrested in March?
Correct.
And you were still in jail in May?
No.
When did you get out of jail?
I was released from jail March 25th. This is the actual bond here. Oh, I'm sorry. May 25th.
So you were in jail March, April, and a good part of May.
Yes.
Do you remember calling Miss Stevens from jail?
Yes.
Do you remember the conversation that you had with Miss Stevens when you called her from jail?
No, I do not.
Do you?
Yes.
So you can tell me what the conversation was.
The conversation was that he kept getting sick in jail, and he done had...
Did he tell you what kind of sick?
That he have seizures, and that he done had a couple seizures. They won't give him his medicine.
You have seizures, Mr. Russell?
Yes, I do.
Now, she wouldn't know that unless you told her that you had been sick in jail. Continue.
And he says, "Cuz I really need to get out." He said, "I've been talking to Lily and Donna, with Donna's his sister, Lily's his girlfriend, and I told them to sell everything." He said, "I need you to help me. I will have every dime to you within a month." Well,
what, did you know what kind of work Mr. Russell did?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work did he do before he was arrested?
He do lawn care.
For himself or for somebody else?
For a company.
How much did you put down on his bail?
$3,000.
How much did he pay you back?
$195.
Okay. You have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that she posted your arrest record on the internet.
Correct.
Is it a lie?
Yes.
That your arrest record was a lie?
Correct.
Tell me.
Well, according to law, you are innocent until proven guilty.
No. She didn't say she posted that you were convicted. You said she posted your arrest record.
Well, she posted what I was arrested for and what I was in jail for.
So my question is, was it true?
No, what I was arrested for, the allegations was not true.
I didn't ask you whether the allegations were true. Is it true? You didn't so far tell. Can I see that, please? I know it was very hard for you to tell, but that's your counterclaim. If you file a counterclaim that she slandered you, and his. Is this document what you're talking about?
Correct.
She's allowed to publish that.
She also posted, I scratched it out because I didn't want it on TV, but the abbreviation for the charge.
If you can't discuss it here, then I can't resolve this issue.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Right now, what she posted was a document, right? There is nothing that prevents her from doing that. Did she post this before or after she asked you to please pay her back her money?
She posted it before.
Before she asked you back for your money?
Correct.
Oh, I don't believe that at all. Why in the world would this woman post your bail, but before she posts your bail, post your arrest record?
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $28.05. We're finished. Thank you very much. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A mom dumps her kids at a daycare.
You left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months. She held them from me, Your Honor.
Judge Judy.
The plaintiff didn't even pay $3,000 to get me out.
He's just a complete liar.
She only
Didn't know who was gonna bail him out.
I didn't until the sheriffs called me for release.
Who else in the family got money? Really?
They just told me, Mr. Russell, pack your things, you're out of here.
And then he called me every day, almost collect.
Pretty much it's a headache,
crying and begging to get out of jail.
Stalking and harassing me.
I didn't harass him.
At least that part will be done, and
I should have left his butt in jail.
And just leave me be.
He should have stayed in jail.
You're out until 2 o'clock in the morning, and you've been bar hopping.
Short tempers after a long night out.
You say we got into a heated argument while heading home.
He hits my shoulder. I say, please don't touch me. I don't want to be touched. Please do not touch me. Get your hands off me.
It's all very nasty.
I go like this to move, to block. My hand connects with like this part of his face.
He says that you punched him in the face.
This is Judge Judy.
Dean Catlett is suing his ex-girlfriend, 25-year-old Brescia Wigglesworth, for a false arrest, attorney fees, and damages to his vehicle.
Order. All rise. It's case number 110 on the calendar, the matter of Catlett. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Okay, I know I won't have all of the facts perfectly, but I'm going to try to set the stage of this story so that we can put it in context of what you both want. So I suggest you pay attention to what I'm saying, not look at anything else. You were a couple for a while. You went out for an evening, and and that was on July 29th of 2018. You were driving, and you drove with him. There was nobody else in the car, either going or coming. Is that correct?
That's incorrect.
Who else was in the car?
Her name is Yolanda.
So you went with somebody else who was in the back passenger seat?
Yes, Brescia was next to me.
So it didn't happen on, did it happen on the 28th or the 29th?
The event prior was the 28th. My arrest was the 29th.
Got it.
Excuse me.
What?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I also want to just make this clear. We were not a couple at the time of the incident.
Just friends?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fine. Not easy to do.
No.
You went out for an evening, and the evening was either, I don't care, the 28th or the 29th. And according to both of you, the arrangement was that you would leave this bar that you went to with friends by 1 a.m. because you had an early morning appointment.
That's right. That's true. I had an interview.
So far, correct?
Yes.
And then the fraud disappeared. You were looking for her. And that took a little time, so you didn't leave until when you finally found her. She said, I found something interesting here. I think I'm going to stay for a while.
Yes.
Not exactly true. I'm sorry.
No?
Not exactly true. That isn't the exact reason why we left so late.
Why did you leave late?
We left so late because he was still drinking with the other friends that we went out with. And I had asked him to leave earlier about 3 times. And even though he said we would leave, we continued to go around bar hopping. And that is, yes, on my part, partly my fault.
Yes.
Because I didn't demand him to leave. At the same time, I came in with him. I didn't have another ride. No. I should have called like an Uber or a Lyft to take him back home.
But you stayed.
Yes.
And continued to socialize.
Not really.
No. Okay. Anyway, you got into the car to go home and you had an argument. And the argument was about the fact that you stayed late. Yes. Is that what the argument was about?
I was disappointed, yes.
You were complaining that you stayed late. He was driving.
Yeah.
Now, so I want you to tell me exactly, you're telling him you're annoyed. He says to you, what happened next?
He starts saying, well, it's not my fault that we didn't leave. I understand. I was trying to get her. I should have just left.
Okay.
I tell him, yeah, but you didn't just leave. So he starts saying...
So he starts saying,
worthless man.
Just a second. We hopped from, we should have left earlier, to him saying to you, you're calling me a worthless man.
Yeah.
What did you say to him?
I told him, I'm not calling you a worthless man, but I'm saying that I'm disappointed that we didn't leave earlier. You had made a promise to leave.
Just a second. We don't go from, you made a promise to leave, then you're calling me a worthless man.
Because I never said that.
What did you say?
I told him I'm disappointed that you didn't leave when you said that we were going to leave.
And he said, you're calling me a worthless man. Okay. I know you want me to believe that. It's a leap that I'm not here prepared to make. Okay, you're calling me a worthless man, and then what happened?
So he's gesturing with his hands. He talks a lot with his hands.
He can't do this with both hands because...
Well, we hadn't started driving yet. We're still parked. We haven't started driving yet.
Oh, so you had this argument when you were in the car?
Absolutely.
But you hadn't been driving yet?
We didn't start the car yet.
Okay. You say we got into a heated argument while heading home. That's what you say in your answer that you swore to. So now you're telling me that you weren't heading home, you were just in the parking lot. You hadn't started yet. Okay, so now he's gesticulating with his hands and?
And while he's doing this, he's touching me. He's like touching my shoulder, touching my arm.
So just a second, just a second. So he, what did you do?
I
have your answer.
He still keeps going. I move over, he still keeps going. He's doing this, he hits my shoulder.
I go like this to move, to block. My hand connects with his, like, eyebrow, like this part of his face. Then he goes, I can't believe you hit me. He gets up, he gets out of the car, slams the door. Before he slams the door, he says, I gotta walk. Then he gets out of the car.
I mean, I have your answer here. The story that you're telling me doesn't bear any relation to the sworn statement that you read.
I understand, but I'm not the one who wrote that. I'm telling you the truth right now.
Listen to me. Before you came in here, you were a very intelligent young woman.
I still am.
Before you came in here, you read this over and you signed it. Mm-hmm. And if there were any changes that you wanted to make in here, you could have.
I did.
Not here. I didn't see any changes.
I said that they should have been made, but that I was assured that was just paraphrasing, and
no. Then we're going to go out, and you're going to write up an answer. Read it very carefully. You're not to be shown this answer that you wrote and swore to, and write up an answer that I can examine you on.
Okay.
Because what his claim is that you had him falsely arrested, and he says that you punched him in the face.
Not true.
Well, whatever you say, that's what he says. And there is an indication here that that did in fact happen. So you're going to go outside and find the producer and redo it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Why is our excuse? This will be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's holding your cell phone in his left hand, and with his right hand, as he's driving and swerving, he's choking you. And I'm trying to figure out how he's steering.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
In a case recalled from earlier today, Dean Catlett says ex-girlfriend Briche Wigglesworth had him falsely arrested for assaulting her during a night at the Jersey Shore. Briche is countersuing for medical bills and assault.
Oh, it's so good to be able to get a whole story. So now, Miss Wigglesworth, I have 7 pages of story. And when we get down to it, when I sort of put it all together, 2 people in the car, both of whom probably maybe were feeling good that night, feeling bad, but feeling good, got into a fight. You probably got the worst of the deal, but it's clear from here that despite the fact that he put his hand on you, you physically this time, the second time by punching him in the face, because you say in your document that you gave me that he's driving and swerving because you're arguing with him, and he's holding your cell phone in his left hand. That's what you said.
Yes.
And with his right hand, as he's driving and swerving, he's choking you. That's what you said right here. And I'm trying to figure out how he's steering. So it's all very nasty. And then you say, stop the car, you got out, you still had your phone, you wanted your phone, he touched you, you punched him.
So I do want to clear up.
Just a second. Mm-hmm. That's what you say in here. And he, of course, has pictures, like you have pictures, of injuries. I'm sure he does, right?
Absolutely, I do
right.
have my
And you have pictures of your injuries to your knee.
No,
right?
I don't have pictures of injuries, but I do have text messages where he admits that he has.
Listen to me carefully. I'm not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
You both behaved badly on the night of the 28th or the 29th, whichever one it was. Now, he was arrested, and then he filed a lawsuit against you after he was arrested.
Yes.
And then you both had lawyers and went to court.
I did not get a lawyer.
She did not.
You did not. You had, according to you, legal advice.
Yes.
So am I correct from reading this? Because my interpretation of that evening was you both acted.
Incorrect.
Just a second. Well, I know you acted badly.
I acted in self-defense.
I know that you acted badly.
I acted in self-defense. So
I know that you acted badly. I know that in response to somebody touching your shoulder, you don't punch him in the face.
I didn't punch him in the face.
Can I see the pictures?
That's not what happened.
Sure. So what I'm saying to you is he has to acknowledge to me that, first of all, you're out until 2 o'clock in the morning and you've been bar hopping. Mm-hmm. And the smart thing to do is call an Uber.
If you have been excessively drinking,
no,
yes.
If you...
I have been...
When you've been drinking, you never know that it's excessively.
Absolutely.
Drinking impairs otherwise reasoned judgment. You might not do something after you've had 1 drink that you would do after you've had 2. And you're a big guy, you could handle 2 drinks.
I understand.
But not a smart thing to do. you know, if you promise your friend that you'll take her home at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Your friend who does not drink. Your friend also who was not drinking that night. Your friend also who only had 2 shots that night and knew her limit.
Do you see how aggressive you are?
I do.
Do you see that I see how aggressive you are?
I do, but I did want to get that out.
I know that you wanted to get it out, but do you see how aggressive you present to a fact finder? A lot of grandchildren. I know about what happened here that night. You both behaved badly. You were angry.
No, ma'am. I don't think you do.
No, ma'am.
Oh, you don't think you behaved badly?
I think I behaved. No, I know that I behaved in self-defense, and I also have text messages, which are evidence, where he admitted to being drunk and on drugs.
Ma'am.
And yes, you are correct.
Just a second.
I should have called an Uber and taken myself home. And I accept
absolutely
that
right. And you shouldn't have punched him.
I should have did that.
And you shouldn't have punched him.
And I did not.
Well, you said you did. Just a second. You said you did. Just a second.
Somebody choked
Just a second.
I have text
and would not give my phone back.
Stop. You say you did, and it was after you punched him that he threw you to the ground.
Before I even did that, he had choked me and wouldn't give my phone back.
You're talking about him choking you when he was holding the phone in his left hand and choking you. I'm speaking.
If you don't, I'm sorry.
Speaking.
I apologize.
Okay, so this is what I think. You have a lawsuit against him for $4,500, and that's for the medical bills and punitive damages. And he has a lawsuit against you for attorney's fees, false arrest, and damage to his vehicle for $5,000. I'm granting both the complaint and the countersuit, but they negate each other, which means that you're going to have to show me to your car.
Absolutely.
You're talking about the hood of the car?
She kicked the bumper in from both sides, which is left dangling, and she also, with both her fists, basically caved in the front of my hood.
Let me ask you this question, sir.
Am I the whole?
Did she ask you to let her out of the car?
The answer is yes, but the issue was we were an hour and a half away. There were no lights. There was everything. We were on a strip of LBI, so there was no lights. There were no places that were actually open, and she wanted me.
Did she say to you, let me out of the car?
After she assaulted me, yes.
And did you immediately let her out of the car?
While we were immediately?
I'm talking about, I don't care whether it was dark, I don't care if it was in the middle of the Mojave Desert.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't get to punch somebody in the face.
I didn't punch him in the face.
Just a second.
After somebody choked me?
No, just a second. I don't buy choking you, driving and swerving the car, holding your phone in one hand and choking you with the other.
And later today.
You know what she does for a living. She's not in the business of giving parking permits.
To do when someone's coming over. So she can read, right?
No, you can read.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dean Catlett says ex-girlfriend Briche Wigglesworth had him falsely arrested for assaulting her during a night at the Jersey Shore. Briche is countersuing for medical bills and assault.
Now, she's a big girl, and she wanted to be let out of the car.
I let her out immediately, as soon as possible.
No, you did not.
Well, immediately as soon as possible is not the answer. Okay, we have a draw. You both acted badly that evening just because you're a girl. You don't get to punch somebody in the face.
I didn't punch him in the face.
Yes, you did.
No,
you
I
even
didn't.
say
My
you
hand
did.
connected.
Just a second. Is what you're saying to me that you didn't, when I gave you 2.5 hours to write this down, maybe I read it wrong, is what you're telling me that you didn't write down here that I punched him in the face twice?
After somebody choked me?
No, just a second. I just asked you a question. Did you write here that you punched him in the face twice?
Yes, I did. After he choked me, after he did all that to me, and did not give my phone back.
Not all that.
How was I supposed to get home without a phone?
Listen.
How was I supposed to call the Uber?
Hey, I don't buy choking you, driving and swerving the car, holding your phone in one.
Choked me for like a minute. It wasn't a long choke.
Ma'am, can I?
Goodbye. We're done.
Bye.
Ma'am,
Bye.
excuse me.
Bye, Judy. See you later.
Party's like,
Thank you.
Step out.
I was acting in self-defense the entire time.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with this individual ever again.
I just want him to leave me alone. Like I wanted him to leave me alone that night.
And I hope that she finds what needs to put her back on the right path.
Why do you want to be around me so much, sir? I just want to be left alone.
As you can see, just things weren't really working out for her. A lot of anger issues.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Aragoyan versus Newborn, step forward.
21-year-old Sierra Aragoyan is suing her former friend, 21-year-old Tatiana Newborn, for a loan to pay impound fees. Tatiana is countersuing for damages to her car.
All right, Miss Newborn, I'm going to start with you. This is what the case is about. You were out for an evening with the plaintiff, and you were staying over at somebody else's house, and you were driving your car. When you got home, and this may all not be perfect, but when you got back to the house where you were going to spend the night, according to you, the only space available was a sort of reserved spot where you were not allowed to park overnight. And what kind of a sign was there that told you that you couldn't park there overnight?
There was this sign here that I have pictured.
I asked you a question.
Yeah.
I said, what did the sign say that informed you that you couldn't park there overnight?
It said you couldn't park there unless you had a permit, and it was posted.
Okay, so it says no parking here without permit, and usually under those it says violators will be towed at the owner's expense, right? And that's what the sign said.
Mm-hmm.
And you parked there anyway.
I was given a permit.
No, you weren't given a permit. You parked there anyway because you say the plaintiff told you that it's okay, you can park there. I park here all the time. I'll write out a permit for you. And she wrote out a piece of paper and put it on your car. Is that what she did?
Yes.
And you parked there?
Correct.
How old are you?
21.
And your car got towed?
Yep. And it was damaged.
Just a second. I don't care. You parked where you weren't supposed to park. Plaintiff paid for the car to get out of impound.
Because it was her fault.
Just a second. No. She paid for the car to get out of impound, and she's suing because she wants that money back, $300 and some odd. Your counterclaim is, you say, because she told you you could park there, even though the sign is right in front of you saying no parking overnight, towers will be scratched your car. So you're counterclaiming for the scratched car.
Correct.
That's dismissed. Now, if you're not, you don't look as if you are a dim-witted person. If a sign tells you not to park someplace without a permit, what do you do for a living?
I work at a hotel.
Okay. You don't work for the government that gives out parking permits, right?
No, not at all.
Okay. And I assume you know what she does for a living? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
You know what she does for a living. She's not in the business of giving parking permits.
Okay, but this is her cousin's house, and it has it stated what to do when someone comes over. So she can read, right?
No, you can read.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, it's your car. You can read no parking without a permit. Violators will be towed away at their owner's expense. And if you choose to park someplace, I don't care if she told you, take 10 steps back. It's okay. You're not going to hit anything. Takes 10 steps, but you wouldn't do that because you'd look and you'd say, gee, there's something here that's going to stand in my way. But you don't do things. Your choice was to park in a place that was clearly a space that required a proper permit. And the fact that your friend that works in a hotel told you, yeah, you can park here. My cousin lives here. I park here all the time. Well, she parks here all the time at her own risk. Anyway, she gets her money back. How much was the towing?
The towing was $350, but I only had $360 to give her because I didn't have it in change, so I wanted the $360.
$360. Judgment for the plaintiff. Counterclaims dismissed. We're finished.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Miss Bayes told you she was pregnant.
Yeah.
She sent us a picture of a baby saying she had the baby.
I'm just not sure if there ever was one to begin with.
Next Judge Judy.
Sierra was wrong, period.
I mean, she was in the wrong 100%.
I didn't have money to pay for it.
Like, everything about this whole situation was just wrong on her end.
Well, the friendship is over at this point.
I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal to me.
But I don't need fake friends.
You can old enough to drink, old enough to pay your bills.
When he offered to find you a cheaper mechanic. What did you say?
I agreed.
A co-worker with...
This was going to be $700?
Yes. But how far would she go?
Did you pay him his $700?
No.
Why not?
To get out of his debt.
He told me all the time that if he didn't have a wife, he would hit on me.
I assume that you can prove it.
Oh, no.
This is Judge Judy.
Roger Jeffers is suing his former co-worker, Shanika Winfield, for an unpaid loan to fix her car.
Order. All rise. It's case number 209 on the calendar, the matter of Jeffers versus Winfield.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat.
Miss Winfield, how long had you and Mr. Jeffers worked in the same place?
Probably like 90 days.
What do you do?
That place was a bakery.
Was he working there before you?
Yes.
What did Mr. Jeffers do there?
Weigh the ingredients, I guess.
What did you do?
Package the bread.
Are you still working there?
No.
Did you quit or did you get fired?
It was like let go.
You were fired?
Sure.
Not sure. That's a yes. Where are you working now?
Retail.
Where?
Well, it's not right now, but I do work. I'm on leave.
Where?
At Kohl's.
How long did you work there?
For 2 months.
How far?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Who do you live with?
Myself.
How did you get to Kohl's?
My aunt or my friend.
I don't believe you. Okay. Now we're going to get to what this is all about.
Okay.
When you were working with Mr. Jeffers, you were having trouble with your car.
Yes.
You were speaking to someone about your car trouble. Prior to Mr. Jeffers offering to assist you in finding a cheaper mechanic, had you had any difficulty with him?
No.
When he offered to find you a cheaper mechanic to fix your car, what did you say?
I agreed.
Did he take the car or did you drive the car?
It was towed from my friend's house.
It was towed, which means it was not drivable.
Right.
How long had it been since you had the car and it was drivable? How many months?
It was probably like maybe 2
Not
weeks.
probably like maybe. Was it a day, a week, a month?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's a good guess. So you hadn't had a working car in 2 weeks? Is a yes?
Yes.
And Mr. Jeffers said, I can find you a mechanic that can probably do it cheaper. So it was towed from your friend's house to the mechanic?
Yes.
Yes. Who towed it?
His nephew, I believe.
So he did you a favor?
Yes.
He didn't charge you for that, did he?
Well, it was included in the price that he gave me.
Okay. And what price did he give you?
$700.
He said, my friend can fix it for $700. And what had you been quoted by? It was a bargain. And when you went to finally get the car, not yes.
Yes.
When you finally went to get the car, according to you, you drove it home.
Yes.
That's what you said, because I read your answer.
Yes.
You said you drove it home. So what was towed in was a non-drivable car, had to be towed, and it hadn't worked for 2 weeks. When you got it out of the mechanic, you drove it home.
Yes. Well, before the car was towed, it did drive, but it had issues. So they were saying if I drove it would blow up.
You had to have it towed.
Right.
And you drove it home.
Yes.
And it didn't blow up.
No.
Did you pay him his $700?
No.
Why not?
Because I had to call the cops to get my car back, and they had it for like a day less than a month. And my car, it goes like 20 miles per hour when you put it into drive. And when I had got my car to take it to get an oil change, the oil pan is stripped, so that's another $1,000 I would have to put in to fix that as well. So like the car, it doesn't work even if he did fix it or whatever he did to it.
You have proof that you paid this money?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. $200?
Yes.
Well, she came in and gave them $400.
Yes.
Well, if you told her it was only going to be $700, then she really only owes you $300.
I told her $700 plus parts.
Is that what he told you?
Never.
Well, that's not what I believe. She said she came in and gave them $400 and took the car, leaving a balance of $729. But you told her it was only going to be $700.
I told her 700 plus parts. When she told me her estimate that she got was $2,000.
Did he tell you the whole bill was going to be $700?
Yes, ma'am.
And you gave them $400?
Yes.
You picked up the car, drove it home. When did Mr. Jeffers ask you for the money?
He never asked me for the money after I got my car back.
Were you still working in the bakery?
Yes. I worked for like 3 more days after I got my car back.
Was he there?
Yes.
And didn't you have any interaction with him? You were driving the car. You had paid $400. Didn't you have any interaction with him at all?
No.
He didn't say anything to you? He didn't say you owe me $300 or $700? No, nothing. Did you have a conversation with her, Mr. Jeffers?
No, I didn't say anything. I was kind of just waiting for her to come to me and talk to me about it. I was kind of waiting, and then she got dismissed on Saturday, and then she owed me, and then if she wasn't going to pay me, I was going to file conciliation papers. And
did you tell her how much it was?
Yes.
What did she say?
She says, go right ahead and take me to court. And then I needed her apartment number. I couldn't find my papers until I knew her apartment number, so I went up to her place. I went in there, but there was no numbers on the apartment. So I called her one more time and asked her for the apartment number, and she says she wasn't going to give it to me. Go ahead and file your papers. So about a half hour later, I got a call from the police asking me to call them. And so I didn't have any time, so I didn't get back to him until about noon. And I told him what had happened. And I told him I just was trying to get the apartment number. He said, well, I'm going to file this report in a few days. You can go over there and get a copy, and you'll have your info. And so I had got a call. I think my phone says March 19th. But she said on my phone that she had texts from other people saying that I had done the work for favors, which I didn't think was very kind.
Well, that's what you say in here, Miss Winfield, which if you put it down in paper, I assume that you can prove it.
Oh, no.
Just a second. If you put it down in a sworn paper, I assume that you can prove it. Just so that you know why I started on you and I looked a little annoyed. Consider allegations of sexual harassment, and I take them very seriously. I'm speaking. Don't speak. I take them very seriously. Women and some men have suffered sexual harassment in their workplace for a long time, and I take those allegations very seriously. I don't like it when somebody throws them around without any proof in order to avoid paying a debt, which is what you did here, unless you can prove it. Because in here you say that the plaintiff took your car, hoping for sexual favors from me.
That's what his mechanic told me.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
That's hearsay.
That's fine.
That's hearsay. Nowhere did the plaintiff ever say or do anything to you, either in the workplace or any place else, that suggested he was interested in you for anything else other than the repayment of this favor that he did for you.
I mean, he told me all the time that I was beautiful. If he didn't have a wife, he would hit on me.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, he has said that.
Oh, just a second. This man said to you, you're beautiful, and if he didn't have a wife...
Yes.
Okay, tell me when he said that to you.
I don't know exact dates, but he said this to me at work. But, like, he never opened his mouth and said that the sexual favors is what he wants.
Listen to me. I just told you, you can't tell, and you don't open up your eyes wide as if you don't understand what I'm saying to you. You watch enough television to know what hearsay is, and you can't tell me what somebody outside allegedly told you, or else you could have had them come right here, and they could have told me themselves upon what that they based their conversation with you. Did you ever say to her that she was beautiful, and if you didn't have a wife, you would hit on her?
No. She had said to me once, she came, this was about 2 weeks after we got the car towed in, she came by, it was early in the morning, and she looked at me and she said, you know, you could be my boyfriend. And I said, well, I would be a better friend than a boyfriend. And we were still, you know, pretty far apart, but I thought that was kind of strange.
You mean this was 2 weeks after you got the car towed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just changed my mind. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. We're finished. You pay for parts and labor on your own car. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He lied. He know what he did. He know what he said, and the mechanic's not here to witness in between what happened.
Offensive, and I don't think that he would say that.
He said that he could take his time because he wanted me to do sexual favors for him.
I don't know about favors.
I mean, it was a joke. He's an old man.
If I have a chance to help some...
Talk to another man, I guess.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Castro versus Ekchan. Step forward.
Gabriel Castro is suing Rigo Ekchan for an unpaid round of a cooperative money pool known as a condena.
Mr. Castro, it is your claim that the defendant owes you money from some sort of a savings plan game that you play pronounce it for me. A Condina?
Condina, yes, ma'am.
Condina. And for the life of me, I actually can't figure out, from your perspective, how this game goes. I can understand it from the defendant's perspective. So let me try to understand what you do. 9 people get together.
Yes,
in
Your
this
Honor.
case, 9 people. In this case. And you've been involved in these games before.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
And each person puts in $250 a week or a month?
A week. A week.
A week. And they put in $250 a week for how many weeks?
For around 32 weeks.
And $250 a week times 32 weeks equals $8,000. So each person puts in $8,000. Then you say that at the end of the 32 weeks, and everybody draws a number.
Yes.
And the first 8 people get $9,000.
Yes.
Which is like 12.5% interest.
Yes.
The 9th person who picks number 9 gets nothing.
Yes.
And that's how you play the game.
Your Honor,
Now,
it's not like that, Your Honor.
now, that's what he says.
Oh, that's what he says.
That's what he says.
Okay.
Now, you try to explain to me, because what you say is you drew number 9. So you didn't get any money. And he says you played before, and you've gotten money
Your Honor.
because you drew lower numbers. This time you drew number 9. He said, you knew how the game was played.
Yeah, but that wasn't that. That is not the case. So that's not what happens. Your Honor.
Okay.
That's what his version.
Okay.
I'm explaining how.
Let me hear how you think the game is played.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He say he want to kill me and he want to bring some people to...
Why would you say to him, I had money trouble? That's not, please don't send people to kill me. I'll pay you back your money. But you actually tell him why you stole his money.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gabriel Casper paid him for a round of a cooperative money pool known as a Condina.
Let me hear how you think the game is played, because let's understand something, Mr. Castro.
Yes, Your Honor.
If somebody's putting in $250 a week, they expect to get more than $250 a week back at the end of the game. They don't just expect to get their money back, because then you can put your money in a bank.
Yeah, Your Honor, but what it is that it's not a game. It's like a loan. Or it could be a savings. What it is that at the beginning, we do the draw at the beginning, not at the end. Everybody's going to get a number from 1 to 9. If you
just a second. So, according to you, when you enter the defendant's Condina,
yes,
you got a number.
Yes.
And your number was?
Number 9.
And then what happened?
And then what happened, I started giving him the payments of $250 a week, I'm sorry. And when my number came, he didn't give my money.
Explain to me, what do you mean your number came? If you were number 9, you get paid last.
No. This is how it works, Your Honor. How it works is that it's 9 people that get together, and we draw numbers. Whoever gets the first numbers, you get a loan. The last numbers, it's a savings.
Just a second. The first person is a loan?
Yeah, if you get the first number from 1 to 5, it's going to be like a loan. You still get into the last person ends.
Do you understand that?
I sort of do.
Okay, explain it to me.
Well, when you draw the numbers, you get the cumulative money that they put in, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I mean, sir.
Right. And it goes from 1 to 9. So by the time you get to number 9, what he's saying is that you're getting the money. You're getting paid off the money. At the beginning, there's not $9,000 because these people haven't put their money in. So you have to continue to put your money in every week. That's how everybody gets paid.
Yeah, everybody gets paid.
But everybody gets paid more than what they put in.
No, Your Honor, nobody gets paid more. This is a community. This is a Hispanic thing that we do. Some of us don't have no legal status in this country. So if you want to get a lump sum of money to do anything that you want to do, you want to buy a car or whatever you want to do, you need a lump sum of money. You get it at the beginning of the numbers or at the end.
I see. No, I see. So you don't get any extra money.
No.
You just get the amount of money. Now, what does he get out of it?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You acknowledge here that I'm looking into every possibility to begin to gather your money and return it to you. That's what you said to him. Well, what happened to his money?
You know what? Because he...
No, I don't know what.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gabriel Castro says Rigo Ekchan never paid him for a round of a cooperative money pool known as a condena.
Now, what does he get out of it?
Who he got out of it? I think he was the first number. So he gets the first $9,000 that all of us pitch in. He'll get them. He invested on his business or whatever he has to invest on.
So he gets $9,000 right off the bat?
Yes, at the beginning.
Right off the bat?
Yeah, number one.
And you have to wait your turn
you have to wait your turn to get your money back. And I was the last person because that was my number that I took. But I'm still going to get my money. Nobody. This is not a gamble. This is not a game. You're not getting no price. You're not getting no price. You're not getting anything.
I got it. Now I understand it. Did you speak to the defendant?
More than once.
And did you have any communication with him on the text, email?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any of those?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look at them.
This is in Spanish, but they translated by core. And this last text was from the beginning of 2019.
Well, you acknowledge here, sir, that you owe him the money. You acknowledge here that you owe the worst thing that you've ever done, that you had hard times. You wish with all my heart to have never met you because it is the worst thing you can do to a human being. I'm looking into every possibility to begin to gather your money and return it to you. That's what you said to him. Well, what happened to his money?
Okay. You know, he knows the rules.
Don't tell me what he knows. I'm reading what you wrote to him. I know you will want to kill me, but just be patient. I'll pay you back your money. Don't think that I won't do it, please.
Because...
That's what you said to him. You said that you had trouble. Your business wasn't good. You had all kinds of downturns. So you used his money.
You know what? Because he...
No, I don't know what. I don't know what. That's what you said to him.
Yes, because he amassed me. Because he want to kill me. And it's about myself.
No, this is about... You said, I experienced two things. My father's death and the wedding. Whose wedding?
His wedding, Your Honor.
Your wedding.
And I was one of his best men.
Just a second. So your father died, and you had to make yourself a wedding. So he says, a friend of mine didn't loan me the money because my father died. Multiply. I've only had it 10 days. I see it like a big doorway, although I wish it was more. I know God will multiply it very soon. Here's $300. Do you understand me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Do you understand what I mean? You acknowledge that you stole his money. That's what you acknowledge, that you stole his money.
Yeah, that's I say, because I'm in very big trouble, because he say he want to kill me and he want to bring some people to make me something happen in my life. And that's why I try to...
Why would you say to him, I had money trouble, my father died, I had to make a wedding? That's not, please don't send people to kill me. I'll pay you back your money, okay? I'll pay you back the money, even though I don't owe it to you. I'll pay you back your money. But you actually tell him why you stole his money. My father died, I had a wedding, I got married, I had expenses, whatever it was. Do you understand what I mean, sir? A lot of excuses. Yes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Thank you very much. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A neighbor opens up after an attack.
I saw their dog run out of the garage, and he beelined it right for my dog.
Judge Judy.
If I would have tried to kill him, I wouldn't be here suing him.
Because I think it's very bad to send some text to somebody.
And that's what he's trying to say, not to pay me.
To explain many things.
He's using all kind of excuses.
I'm a very confident people, and that's why it's happened to me.
He tried to play games, and he's not going to do it to someone else.
Miss Bayes told you she was pregnant.
Yeah.
A teen convinced her mother,
We had a baby shower. We did all these things.
but questions remained.
I assume you went with her to a doctor?
She did not want me to go with her.
She had told us both of her parents were deceased.
And a child never appears.
She sent us a picture of a baby saying she had the baby.
I'm just not sure if there ever was one to begin with.
This is Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello are suing their son's former friend, 19-year-old Taya Trinity Bias, for court costs, DNA testing, and fraud regarding her alleged pregnancy.
Order. All rise. It's case number 50.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Bias, how old are you?
19.
Who is this?
This is my mother.
Would you stand up with her, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you stand up with your folks? You're Mr. Ravello,
I'm Alejandro Gonzalez.
and these are your parents?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
When did you meet Miss Bias?
About February of 2018.
More than a year ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago. And when were you dating?
We never dated. We were workers together at Walmart.
Is that correct, Miss Bias, that you were workers together?
Yes.
Well, there had to come a time when you had some sort of dating experience, because at one point, Miss Bayes told you that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And when was that?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
When was that?
It was about the end of April. We had a sexual relationship about St. Patrick's Day.
Where?
My house.
Just the two of you there?
Yes.
And that was the only time?
No, actually, a few weeks after we found out that I was pregnant, we had sex again at my house.
Now, you say a few weeks after. By the way, don't you people discuss birth control with your children?
Oh, we did.
Oh, I have.
Before?
Yep.
We did.
And you?
Yep, we have.
So let me ask you a question, kids. What kind of stupid don't you get?
I take...
Truly not. What does that mean, you take full responsibility for what you did? Did you give your parents back the money for the tests that they had ordered, for the day that they took off to go to court to do a paternity test? Did you do any of that? No, you didn't. You just said, my bad. Now, Miss Byers, you say you were intimate again after you found out you were pregnant. And that was sometime in April?
Yes, it was towards the
Okay, so
beginning of
St. Patrick's Day is in March. Am I not correct? St. Patrick's Day is always in March. So what would make you go to the drugstore and buy a, whatever it is, a device or a gauge, what is it called?
Pregnancy kit?
A pregnancy kit. What would make, I haven't bought one. I don't know who they are. I know about,
It's okay, it's one of those
I know
things.
about, you know, I was pregnant, the rabbit died. That's how you knew you were pregnant. You didn't go to a stick or anything else. Now, what made you take a pregnancy test?
So a few weeks after we were, intimate, I was a few days late, and I had reached out to Alejandro, let him know I was a few days late, and he said,
Why
okay.
would you want to do that?
Well, if it was a possibility, I wanted to let him know just to be safe. Then I was in a car accident, so I went to the hospital, and that's where they told me I was pregnant. And then we bought another test so that I could take it in front of him.
In what month were you in a car accident?
The 17th of April.
So 4 weeks later.
Yes.
And you can't tell me what they told you in the hospital, because I'm not interested and it's hearsay.
I mean, I do have the paper.
Sure. If you have a report from the hospital, I can see it as a business record. You didn't take this test in April. You took it in March.
Oh, well, wrong day.
You took it in March, on March 25th. Do you remember on what date you had sex with the defendant?
The very first time, it was towards the middle of February.
Well, the middle of February isn't St. Patrick's Day.
I didn't say St. Patrick's Day, no.
She did.
The very first time that we had intercourse was in February.
Where?
At her house.
Tell me the circumstances, because clearly her mother doesn't know that.
So obviously, when we had intercourse, after I'd reached out to him, let him know that I was pregnant,
Listen, I know you have a story that you want to tell, but it's getting more interesting to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
You told your mother you had sex with him once on St. Patrick's Day. I assume that's what she told you. And then, again, I assume I'm a stranger and I asked her those questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So that...
I was aware that they were seeing each other, or at least
They weren't seeing each other.
I'm not really up to date on all of her sexual life, but I was aware that they had been speaking and communicating with each other in sometime in February, but as far as the exact dates, I am not sure, Your Honor.
Well, speaking and communicating with each other is not having sex together. In your house, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's why your house is convenient, because they clearly both have the same shifts from Walmart. I assume you never saw him in your house.
No, I did not.
Well, so that was a logical assumption. So that was February. That was before St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day may be a day you remember, but that was before St. Patrick's Day. And your pregnancy test, just so that you know, was March 25th.
Okay.
4 weeks later. Now, what happened in April? So you're in a car accident in April. You had already taken a pregnancy test. This is why, you know, you're getting fuzzy with me.
Yeah.
Because you already knew you were pregnant in March. Then you tell me you had a car accident in April, and when you went to the emergency room, they did a pregnancy test on you, and they told you were pregnant. Then you told him you were pregnant. In front of him, you took a pregnancy test. But the truth of the matter is your dates are all fouled up, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say towards the end of April.
And what did you say to her?
To be honest, I was upset, Your Honor. She's young, and I was upset. I wanted her to have different things in life, and that was not how I wanted it to start.
You're absolutely right. Did you suggest that to her?
I did.
And her response was?
Pretty much that it's, you know, I mean, that she was already pregnant. There wasn't anything I could do to stop it at that point. So we just had to kind of deal with whatever came next.
You have other children?
No, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a phlebotomist.
Is that how you support your family?
Yes, ma'am.
And other than working at Walmart, what do you do?
I actually work at a restaurant now.
There are other things that you can do at 19 other than have a baby.
Agreed.
With somebody who clearly doesn't want to have a baby, that you don't even like, that you never had a meal with outside of work, that the only thing you did was came over to your house when your mother wasn't working. Ta-da! Tell me in what month you allege you had a miscarriage.
The end of October, ma'am.
You have medical records?
I do not.
Well, if you were pregnant in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, that's a very, very late miscarriage, which must have been at a hospital.
Correct.
What hospital did you go to?
I went to North Suburban, ma'am.
Did your mother go with you?
No, ma'am.
Did your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go with her to the hospital in October?
I did not, Your Honor. She is a very independent young lady, and as soon as she was able to be 18 and make her own decisions and own choices,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
February to March, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August to September, September to October. That's a full-term pregnancy.
We had a gender reveal, we had a baby shower, we did all these things. It wasn't that I was never involved or any of that. We did all of these things because we did get excited that there was going to be a baby coming. Eventually, I got over being upset and started to get excited.
Well, your daughter is very independent.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a party for her. I believe you. You see, I don't believe her. Neither do you. So you have an only child who you made a gender reveal party for, that you got excited about. You had an only child who carried to almost full term a pregnancy. I assume you went with her to a doctor?
She did not want me to go with her to the doctor. She had one of her girlfriends go with her.
Did you know the name of the doctor?
It's Women's Health Clinic. It's associated with North Suburban.
But you never went with her?
No, ma'am.
Not once in 8 months?
There's an appointment immediately after we found out. We had told her, you know, because we had spoke with our son, and he had basically said, you know, we did have intercourse. He said, I immediately realized, you know, what I had done, and he asked Ms. Buys, hey, take the morning after pill, I'll pay for it. And she had basically told him that she has a heart condition.
She or the baby?
No, that Ms. Buys has a heart condition and that it would affect her if she took it. So we set up an appointment to meet her, and we asked to meet with her and her parents, and she had told us that both of her parents were deceased. So we met with her and her friend, and we had told her that, you know, we understand the situation. We raised our son to be responsible, and if in fact there was a baby, that he would take care of the child. But we wanted to make it clear that he had made it clear that he doesn't want to continue a relationship with her. Immediately after we
Did you know all this?
No, this is if this is true, I did not know.
There's no question that what you're telling me is true, and there's no question that what he's telling me is true. The only one who's a liar is she.
My wife had told her that she wanted to be actively involved in the doctor's appointments. About an hour after we left, she had sent a text message saying that it was all moving too fast and that she's involved.
Do you have any of those text messages?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we do.
I'd like to see them. It's a whole different story, right?
It is, to me, yes.
We were also sent pictures of ultrasounds with the bracelet, you know, showing that she was in the hospital. You know, however, the ultrasound did not have her name on it.
Good time.
The one I seen did, but I'm sure I said the ultrasound I seen did, but I don't know how many of them she had or what she shared with them.
She says to your daughter, good morning, when is your next appointment? That's Mrs. Ravello.
Okay.
When is your next appointment? I need to let my job know. I know this appointment is already scheduled, so whatever time it is fine, and we'll make it work. Supportive, correct? Did you know that? No, because she told them that you were dead. For the time being, I need to take a major step back for myself and the baby. I will still notify you and everything you like, but right now, I need to step away from this. She really, what your daughter wanted was to speak to their son personally, and I gather that they felt as if he needed a buffer, which was turned out to be very good judgment on their part.
Okay.
To keep him away from her, because he's 19 and stupid, and she...
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Birds make babies, dogs make babies, cats make babies, fish make babies, elephants make babies, all kinds of animals, ants make babies. You know, you don't have to be a genius to have a baby.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello claim their son's former friend, Taya Trinity Bias, faked a pregnancy and claimed their son was the father.
She answered, if I don't hear from Alex himself by Friday, as per my lawyers, I have every legal right to leave the country on a temporary and permanent stint. The Dominican Republic has no extradition treaty for citizens. If agreements were supposed to be met, it should have been on all fronts, not just mine. So if I don't hear from Alex himself Friday, I'll be leaving for good. Again, if I don't hear from him by Friday, we will also be pursuing full legal rights. My child will never be a game or a force of leverage, but if we are going to come to a common ground, the statuses would have stopped last night. What does that mean?
So his sister started posting on Facebook about me, saying that, oh, wow, now she's pregnant. I wonder who the dad is. And when we had me, Christina, Abe, and Alejandro, we sat down and we both agreed, because me and Alejandro both, being stupid teenagers, were posting malicious statuses towards each other. And we both agreed that the statuses would stop after the agreement. And the
so you
did.
all agreed that you were going to stop this person who's going to have a baby, who is mature enough to have a baby, despite his having a reasonable conversation with her mother, spends her time posting negative things with him, another genius, and now he got his sister involved, because his sister probably feels as if he got snookered by somebody, and so she got involved. It would be a terrible thing, of course, if you had a baby that survived almost to its 9th month and then you miscarried. I have no proof of that. Your mother wasn't at the hospital with you. She seems like a perfectly reasonable, lovely lady. I'm just not sure if there's a deceased baby or one that's living elsewhere, or if there ever was one to begin with. I don't know. I guess unless you want to spend a lot of money, you'll never know whether Miss Byers decided at the last minute that if you weren't going to be in her life, she was going to get even, she was going to give up this baby for adoption, or maybe give it to a friend. Who knows?
I can tell you, Your Honor, that Steph at least has the baby. She has been through emotional stuff.
What I'm asking you is, did you ever see proof that your daughter had a miscarriage?
No, ma'am, I guess I did not.
And it's actually beyond the realm of my imagination that a 19-year-old girl would start to go into labor. She lives alone?
No, ma'am. She lives currently with my mom. When she got pregnant, she moved there.
She left your house?
Yes.
Did your mother go with her to the hospital? Is my question.
Not as far as I'm aware of.
Well, you don't speak to your mother?
I speak to my mom. It's been something that's been emotional, so it's not something that we talk about a lot.
What Mr. and Mrs. Ravello are suing for is the time that they took, the costs that they incurred, getting paternity tests ordered, going to court, and the emotional roller coaster that your daughter caused them.
That's not what happened.
They would actually like answers. I can't give you answers today because I can't force her to give you answers. Unfortunately, you'll never know what the status was of that baby if there ever was one. I don't know. The whole story sounds very strange. You'll just have to get over it and make sure that you take necessary precautions until you are physically, financially, emotionally, and independent. Don't take any chances where that could happen.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, because birds make babies, dogs make babies, cats make babies, fish make babies, elephants make babies, all kinds of animals, ants make babies. You know, you don't have to be a genius to have a baby.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She told us she had the baby. And right after that, my roommate, who she was in contact with my entire pregnancy, I asked her to let her know that I was no longer pregnant. She knew that.
The only thing I know about you is that when your mouth is moving, you're lying.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello are accusing their son's former friend, Taya Trinity Bias, of faking a pregnancy. They are suing for their damages.
Now, she sent us a picture of a baby saying she had the baby. She told us she had the baby.
And right after that, my roommate, who she was in contact with my entire pregnancy, had sent her, and I asked her to let her know that I was no longer pregnant. She knew that.
The only thing I know about you is that when your mouth is moving, you're lying. That's the only thing I know about you. The only thing. Can I see the picture she sent you?
Yes, ma'am. This is the one of her telling me when the baby was born, how much it weighed, and what time she had the baby, and the name of the baby.
You want that?
Yes. Where did you get this picture from?
It's a friend.
What's a friend?
I got it from a friend.
You got the picture from a friend?
Yes.
Is this a picture of her baby?
Yes.
When did she have this baby?
June of last year.
When did you ask her for this picture?
I want to say the 29th of October, so a few days before.
A few days before what?
I notified that the baby was born.
Had you already had your miscarriage?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you were living with your grandmother at the time?
Yes.
Does she work?
Yes. She works at Lowe's as a cashier.
Did she go to the hospital with you?
No, ma'am.
Who went to the hospital with you?
My roommate at the time, her name is Alexandria.
I thought you were living with your grandmother.
She lives with us as well at the time.
What does Alexandria do?
I don't know currently. We are no longer in communication.
Good girl. Good for her.
Unless you sue her in a civil court, which case you'll be able to get her medical records from this hospital. Now you know the hospital, you know the date, and you'll be able to find out.
We believe they're non-existent.
They also believe the pregnancy pictures of me weren't real.
Just a second. I don't know.
I have them right here.
I don't believe anything you say.
I don't know.
Wasn't talking to you.
Don't speak to each other. You caused an awful lot of trouble for an awful lot of people. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Keep waitressing.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A caring grandmother steps in.
The school called you. Her daughter smells for marijuana.
She wants to take my child. When she called the police, she said I was kidnapping her daughter.
Judge Judy.
I just hope that this gets him to leave me the hell alone.
I'm hoping we can move forward and never have to deal with her again.
Anytime that I did try and reach out to speak to Alejandro, I was told to go through his mother.
She's been a compulsive liar since day one.
To definitely take a step back and look at my actions before I do them.
Better choices, yeah.
If a relationship doesn't work out, you're not supposed to be a jerk.
Playing mind games with his ex?
Is this a new girlfriend?
Yep.
Is there any reason that she's here?
But it's the judge who has all the fun.
Or she could leave. Feel better?
I do.
It is my mission in life.
This is Judge Judy.
Corinna Body is suing her ex-boyfriend, Ronald Parentozzi Jr., for car lease fees, impound and registration fees, and tickets.
Order. All rise. Now, it's case number 234 on the calendar in the matter of Abadi versus Parentozza. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat, please.
Miss Abadi, this used to be your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend anymore, which should probably view as some sort of a blessing. But while you were together, and despite the fact that you, your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle have probably been watching this program for a very long time and forced you to watch it, you made the #1 cardinal sin when you were with the idiot, which is you co-signed for a lease on a car for him as the primary. Then you split, and now it's cost you a whole lot of money.
Correct.
Parentozza,
Yes, ma'am.
this a new girlfriend?
Yes, it is.
Other than to bring her here to be annoyed, right? Is there any reason that she's here?
Yeah, witness to the harassment to my family.
You have no cause of action for harassment to your family, so Berg, she could leave.
Sure. Ma'am, this way.
Tell her to get a shawl. Feel better?
I do.
It's my mission in life. You see, Mr. Parentozza, if a relationship doesn't work out, you're not supposed to be a jerk. Now, I know that's sometimes hard for men not to be jerks. There are some men who aren't jerks. Bird is not a jerk. But anybody who's been in a relationship with somebody who has been nice to them and co-signing for a car for you so that you could drive a car, drive it into the ground, make it disgusting, which is precisely what she alleges that you did here. And then when the two of you agreed to try this case in this court, they said, do you have a witness that you want to bring? Or you said, I want to bring my girlfriend. You have no counterclaim, so that there's no real reason for her to be here, just to be an annoying jerk.
Well, as a witness to harassment to my mother, to my grandmother.
Listen to me. You don't have a counterclaim for harassment, so I don't give a rat's behind who she's harassed. Do you understand?
Yep.
Yup is not an answer.
Yeah, to see where she says that I ran the car into a ground because when I left it to the police to be impounded, it was in pristine condition. So I like to see that.
Impounded. Did you smoke anything this morning?
No, Your Honor.
I'm just asking you. Because, you know, the reaction that I'm getting from you is a little bit fuzzy, hazy. And maybe before you came on the program, I don't know, is marijuana legal here in California now?
Yes, it is.
Ugh. So it's not illegal to do that.
Yeah, I have a job that requires drug testing, though.
Well, hair or urine?
Both.
Really?
Yeah, I work with the police.
Oh, my God. Anyway, she leased a car. You didn't have any money. That's when you were together. You split. You took the car. In what month and year did you take the car?
April.
See what I mean about
Your
that
Honor,
smoking?
I have the answer to
What?
that. He took the car in April 30th, 2016. We split in October 2017. And he...
You mean he leased the car in April?
Leased the car of May 2016 was the start of the lease.
Fine. May, so now you
We
remember.
broke up August of 2017.
And you broke up 8? You're a police officer?
No, never said that.
Oh. You work for the police. What do you do for them?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to this.
What do you do for them? You mentioned it. I want to know.
Communications, antennas, satellites, fire and police.
Got it. Okay. And the two of you lived in what state, Miss Abadi?
We lived in New Jersey.
And where did you take the car to? Also in New Jersey?
Yes.
When you left, the car was on a lease, which means it had to be paid for. And how much was the monthly payment on the car?
$282.
And in what month and year was the car impounded?
It was this year,
Your Honor, I have the answer to
July. July of this year.
July 2019. And why was the car impounded?
Because there was no registration on the car. There was no registration due to the registration being sent in the mail to her address and her and her mother proceeding to dispose of it instead of sending it to me to try to take care of the registration.
Well, it's a very good way to get your interest, sir, because let me tell you what happens. If you are the primary person on a car, if you, while in your perfectly sober state, or your girlfriend in the midriff is driving, she, along with you or midriff, is responsible for the damage.
Yes, and when you have the car registered?
I'm speaking, which means that it's a very good way of getting your attention, which is you may be paying for the lease. And I don't know if you were paying for the lease, but I assume you were paying for the lease on the car because otherwise they would have repossessed the car. But what she wanted you to do is, since you're not together as a couple anymore and you and Miss Midriff are now a couple, she said, get the car out of my name. Trade it in, turn it over so that you can, the two of you, because I assume Miss Midriff has a job. You told me that you have a job with the police department, so I would assume that you have enough money to get a car to pay off $282 a month for the lease on a car. So you can do that. You chose not to do that. What you chose to do is keep it and drive it around with Miss Midriff. So she said, he thinks I'm going to send him the registration on this car. Now, he works for the police department. Maybe they'll pull him over and they'll take the car away, and that's the way I'm going to get the car back so that I don't have to worry that do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
That they're going to garnish my wages because Miss Midriff had an accident while she was texting on the phone.
Who could drive the car, so I was the only one driving.
Just a second. And I'm telling you that I don't believe the fact that you would not have, maybe didn't, but would not have let, under the appropriate circumstances, Miss Midriff borrow your car. So whether you, who are certainly not under the influence of any unknown substance today, are driving in the car and have an accident, she's responsible. And she doesn't get the benefit
with me having the insurance on the car, she's responsible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. She's responsible. As much as you are. And if you hit a woman walking with her triplets in a stroller and there is a verdict against you, first of all, they wouldn't just sue you, they would sue you and her.
Being the co-owner, signing her rights to it, yes, you're right.
Oh, thank you. Being validated by you is the high point of my day. How much did it cost you to get this car out of impound?
Cost me $230.
How much in tickets did the car have on it?
Car had about...
Not about, I don't want to hear about.
It had $200 worth of tickets on it.
Can I see it,
For
please?
the red, have proof of her
I'm not asking you a question.
All right. I don't owe her for impound. I don't owe her for tickets. The tickets are in her name.
That's why we're here. Well, first of all, these are for tolls.
He was driving through tolls.
Tolls that weren't paid, so that...
That Easy Pass needs to clear up. I don't owe her the money for Easy Pass failing to comply with.
Where did you have to go to get the car?
I had to fly home to New Jersey. I live in Georgia.
How much did that cost you?
Cost me over $400.
May I see it, please?
Sure.
The only reason she flew
I didn't ask you anything. Chill out. Actually, $419. What'd you do with the car?
I returned it to the dealership.
How much were you charged?
I was charged $4,768.
May I see it, please?
Sure.
Maximum capacity to enter a judgment in your favor is $5,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The police department called me when it had been impounded.
The car was impounded because she contacted the police and they had a setup.
It was disgusting. It smelled like an ashtray.
To where when I left the one morning, they pulled me over right in front of my house.
It had urine bottles all over the back seat.
And they impounded it right there.
It was just trashed.
I still don't believe believe that I owe her anything.
It's time for him to buy his own damn car.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Felder versus Love. Step forward.
23-year-old Quintarius Felder is suing his former friend, 23-year-old Kayla Love, for an illegal eviction, the return of rent, and moving expenses.
Mr. Felder, you were living with the defendant in her house as a roommate.
Yes, ma'am.
You'd known her for a while, and you were paying rent,
Correct.
$800 a month?
Correct.
And you'd moved in with her when?
July 2018.
And you had known her from before?
Yes, ma'am. We went to middle school and high school together.
And everything was fine?
Everything was perfect.
Just a second. But at some point, an arrangement which had been fine for several years, you paid your rent, you lived together nicely, something happened. What happened and when?
Of course. On July 12th, I was at work. Miss Love texted me, asked me if I was going home, because she didn't want to leave the two dogs. I have a dog, Jay. She has a dog, Powder. She asked me if I was coming home because she didn't want to leave the dogs by themselves. Okay, that's understandable. I told her to leave my dog at the house, and she can take her dog. With her mother, at her mother's house, she has two other dogs. If you didn't want Powder...
Slowly.
Sorry, I have a lot of anger in me.
So, I have a lot of anger. My back hurts, though, so I'm trying to keep my anger under control and smiling because I understand I look better when I smile, Mr. Felder. So I want you to try to get rid of the anger.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why don't you give him back his dog?
Because that dog is like my child, and we both agreed I would keep both dogs.
Just because you say that dog is like your child, I don't care. Is this your mother?
Yes.
Don't look at me like I'm crazy. She's crazy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Quintarius Felder claims former friend Kayla Love illegally evicted him. He is suing for the return of rent and moving expenses.
So let me understand this. She called both dogs. I don't want to leave them home alone. I'm not going to. You said, you know what? You can leave my dog home.
Correct.
Take your dog to your mother's. My dog will be fine home.
Correct.
And?
So she said, I'm taking both of them. So I told her, once again, once I get to Fayetteville, which is where her mothers live, I was going to go and get my dog. She said she was going to, basically, you'll see the cops. Good luck trying to get him. I had those text messages, Your Honor.
Just a second. Had you been having trouble with her before?
No, ma'am.
This was just a snit at the moment.
I feel like our friendship kind of changed when I got my car because she got jealous. You know, I felt like she was jealous, but nobody was jealous when she got her car. So all that changed.
So you went to her mother's house to get your dog?
Correct, with the cops.
With the police?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get your dog?
I did not.
You have your dog now?
I do not. We went to court for him. The court order for her to give me my dog back, she appealed. I have the court order with me as well.
The judge directed that you get the dog back?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. You're not suing for the dog?
Correct.
Oh, that's too bad. And this happened in July?
Yes, ma'am, July 12th.
Why don't you give him back his dog?
Because that dog is like my child, and we both agreed when I got another dog so that his dog could have company, and then we agreed when we moved out that I would keep both dogs. Then he changed his mind.
Well, in July, there was no problem.
No.
Just a second. In July, Miss Love, there was no problem. And it's clear, but they were playmates. They played together. They liked each other. And in July, prior to July 12th, there was no issue. The issue arose on July 12th. And just because that you say that dog is like your child, I don't care. Neither, I hope, will anybody else. You heard this case before a judge, and the judge told you to give back the dog. Just answer my question. Did the judge tell you to give back the dog?
He did, but I have that record.
Just a second. The judge told you to give back the dog. Is this your mother?
Yes.
Don't look at me like I'm crazy. She's crazy.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're being a bad mother to an animal that you like because you say, he can't tell me that I can't take both dogs to visit my mother. I'll show him. You're going to be met by the police. Something wrong with you. Are you an only child?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Quintarius Felder claims former friend Kayla Love illegally evicted him. He is suing for the return of rent and moving expenses.
Because if the judge told you to give that back the dog, let me tell you what you're doing. By not returning Mr. Felder's dog to him, the longer the dog stays out of his custody, the worse mother you are. Set of judges, because right now you probably went before a quasi-judge and you appealed that judgment. But a judge, if they have any brains whatsoever, and you can take this tape with you, is going to say, it's his dog, you have to return the dog. But the longer the dog stays with you, the more difficult it's going to be. And I don't give a rat's behind about you. The more difficult it's going to be for the dog.
I've been taking care of the dog for the year that we've lived together. I have vet records, grooming bills.
Listen to me. Listen to me. This is what I'm telling you. You are being not a good mother, a bad mother. You're being a bad mother to an animal that you like. Because you say, I want both of them because they like each other, therefore I'm keeping both. We're not roommates anymore. And therefore, I'm taking both. And he can't tell me that I can't take both dogs to visit my mother. I'll show him. You're going to be met by the police. Something wrong with you. Are you an only child?
He was
just,
not, he was neglected at all.
That requires an answer.
Yes,
Are
I
you
am
an only child? Sometimes that happens with only children.
Did
I ask you anything?
No, ma'am, you didn't.
Me, the universe. Me, the universe. That's what happens when you have an only child. And sometimes people like an only child. But I'm telling you, why would I ask that question? But I can tell from your answers. Me, the universe. So after this, she evicted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? All right. And you had paid the rent for July.
Yes, ma'am, 2 weeks prior.
Just a second. You had paid $800 for July.
Yes.
You get $800 back. So that's $800. Now, illegal eviction. When you say she illegally evicted you, how did she do that?
She told the cops, as of now, Trina, as of today, you no longer live in Raleigh. I had the locks changed.
Did you have the locks changed on the apartment?
I did after he was threatening
Just
me.
a second. Did you have the locks changed
Yes.
on the apartment? $800, illegal eviction, $1,600 is what you owe him so far.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You know, sometimes, historically, judges weren't the smartest bulb in the pack. Over the course of the last 50 years, they've gotten smarter. It's just going to take a long time for him to get his dog back. Somebody is going to give him his dog back, which means that the longer you wait, the greater the separation. When a child is in foster care with the other family, the more difficult it is very often for the child to reintegrate to their biological family, even though the foster family says, I love them, they're better off here than with the other parent, but they're going to go home. And the faster that happens, the better off. And I want you to stop thinking about Miss Love, universe, and the rest of the world revolves around you. It doesn't. There are people smarter, better looking, more sympathetic, make more money, have better careers, do other things that are more enriching to humanity and the right thing to do. And they told you, give him back the dog. I'm telling you, even though it's not before me, give him back the dog. And the way you're shifting your foot and your mother's looking, I don't know, I don't know how she's looking. Miss Love, the universe. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. We're finished. That's what you're...
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we not get a chance to speak?
No.
About his time? Well, he was supposed to leave the next weekend. He was moving out anyway.
Get out.
Okay.
Excuse.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Their dog reached the fence and bit our dog on the nose.
Pictures speak louder than words.
Evidence to me.
Next Judge Judy.
Nothing really happened. We was best friends. She just wanted to take my dog.
We were best friends for 12 years, but definitely not anymore.
She's not going to take my dog. She thinks she can have anything that she wants, but she's not going to have my dog.
I just learned my lesson, and I will never help anybody again.
Emotional detachment with my dog.
He's drama. That's all it is.
Oh, I'm going to get my dog.
No, he's not getting the dog back.
A web designer won the job.
You thought that the cost of $1,000 was reasonable.
Yes, Your Honor.
But then lost the client.
He didn't even create the website.
It's not worth $1,000. She didn't get what she paid for. Mr. Penn did do something for you.
Correct.
You left him totally without compensation. If you're not satisfied with someone's work, you don't pay them nothing.
This is Judge Judy.
Melanie's Gaskin is suing graphic designer Loston Penn for scamming her out of $1,000 after he failed to deliver a website and promotional materials.
Order. All rise. This is case number 134 on the calendar in the matter of Gaskin versus Seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Gaskin, what you're alleging is that Mr. Penn, who you hired to do a website for your business and some other things, business cards and a banner, I don't know what that is, but that's also on the website. You paid him for it.
Yes.
And you claim that he didn't do it. And you had his bank reverse the charge.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Penn appealed that, sent the bank, I assume, copies of what he sent to you. They reversed the charge and withdrew the $1,000 that you had paid him from your account.
Yes, Your Honor.
You then say, in the interim, you hired someone else to complete the website and paid that other person $600.
Yes, Your Honor, $650.
So we're going to go through this step by step, but I want you to understand where my head is when I look at your facts, which you just agreed were accurate. Now, I assume that when you hired Mr. Penn, you were a business person, and you thought that the cost of $1,000 for what he was going to provide you was reasonable.
Yes, Your Honor.
Otherwise, of course, you wouldn't have paid him.
Correct.
And by acknowledging that you hired someone else to, what you say, finish the job at far less of a cost, you are acknowledging that his work that he did for you was of some value. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
But the numbers themselves suggest that Mr. Penn did, at minimum, $400 worth of work for you. That's what you're admitting to me.
No, Your Honor, I'm not.
No, well, you are. Because if you are a business person and you paid Mr. Penn $1,000 because you thought his fee was reasonable, and you paid, according to you, and these are your words, someone $600 to complete the work, you are acknowledging that Mr. Penn did at least $400 worth of work. There's no question in my mind, unless you were a silly businesswoman and were paying him almost twice as much as you should have to do the website, which I don't believe, and which you don't say. So do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right. So that's not a fraudulent reversal. If you think that you didn't get what you paid for, then you can put a partial stop or you can sue him. But what you did was not give him any money for the work that he did do for you that was completed by someone else at far less money. It wasn't that you said to me I had to destroy everything that he gave me and this new designer had to start from the designer? No, I don't believe that, because that's not even what you say here. We understand each other?
I understand, Your Honor.
Very good. Now, may I see what it is that you provided
Yes,
to
ma'am.
the plaintiff?
Thank you.
Now, I would like to see what you say he provided to you.
He just provided me...
Don't say anything. Hand it to me.
He didn't provide a website. He only provided me proof, which what you have right now, because I don't have anything from him, but emails of the proof of the business cards that he designed.
Did you send her business cards?
Yes, ma'am.
I did not get them. I don't have anything. I don't have business cards. I don't have banners.
I want you to get me a business card from your purse.
I don't have a business card.
Well, you told me that you paid someone else $600 to complete the work.
Yes,
If you
I
paid
don't have those.
Do you have someone else in your office now?
No, Your Honor.
Then I'm not believing you. Do you still run your business?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then I don't believe
I have a website up right now.
I don't believe someone who runs a business does not keep a card in their wallet. So I want to see if it's the same card as what he gave you.
I can show you a proof.
Or if it's a different card.
I don't have anything from the defendant.
No. I'm not asking you anything from the defendant. You said you didn't receive anything. He said he sent it. Pay careful attention to me. You beat the project. You said part of the project was business cards.
Yes.
Which means that you paid someone else $600 to do business cards.
I paid
for
someone to design them. I had to print them. We did not print them. The new developer did not print them for me.
This was done a while ago. Are you telling me that you didn't print business cards?
I printed. I sent it to
then
I don't have the business cards.
Then I don't believe you.
Okay,
Do you
Your Honor.
understand?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes. I have them at home. I did not think that I had to bring them.
Well, that's unfortunate because that's what we're doing here. We're here to decide your case. And so far, you said you gave someone else $600 to complete the job. And if completing the job was just to provide you with a pro forma for the business cards, that's what he did because that's what I have here.
Your Honor, I have a document right here showing what I paid for. It says 500 double-sided flyers and print. I didn't get the print. I didn't get the double-sided business cards. I didn't get anything. He didn't even create the website.
You're not following what I'm saying to you, madam. Maybe you're following me, but you don't like what I'm saying to you. You said in your complaint that you paid someone $600 to do the rest of the job. Part of that job was to do business cards.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
what you're telling me is you paid someone else $600
to design
that did
the business
not.
card.
Well, he designed the business cards, too.
I didn't use those.
Well, that's not his fault. That's not his fault. That's your fault. And I don't know what you used because you don't have them with you.
The new developer had to redo the website. He had to redo the banner. That was not included in the print. And that's why I only paid him $650 because he didn't print them. He doesn't offer that. But the defendant does, and that's what I paid for. And I didn't get anything from him.
That's not what he says.
I didn't get anything from him. He doesn't have a UPS tracking number or anything to provide me showing that he sent them.
Well, he provided the...
So I have the proof that was not approved.
I'm speaking. He provided, evidently, the credit card company or the bank sufficient proof that he sent these things to you. What did you send to the bank?
I have it.
I'd like to see it.
Because he fraudulently copied and pasted things.
I'd like to see what he sent to the credit card company.
It doesn't make any sense.
He was going to pay you back.
He typed the website up there. That's not even my domain.
Is this what you sent to the credit card company before I
If I
get in?
just take a look at it, please.
Melanie, show the proof he was going to pay you back.
My proof is way more.
Well, that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that they got.
I didn't get anything from him.
Yes, sir.
First off, it's a pleasure to meet you, Your Honor.
Don't tell me it's a pleasure. I know. You're over the moon.
With the evidence that I provided you, it was for a retractable banner, flyers, business cards with print as well, too.
Are you speaking to her?
I'm not.
Oh. So, being that it was so long ago, all the evidence that I did send over to PayPal, usually after 90 days, they do clear it out of the queue from the claims that you do have.
Don't tell me what they usually do.
I was able to get it.
Oh, I'm respecting you, so...
If you're not satisfied with someone's work, you don't pay them nothing. Listen to me.
Your Honor, I didn't receive anything. How can I be satisfied with something I haven't received?
I don't believe that you didn't receive this.
I received a copy of that in the email, but he was supposed to print that. I got that in the email. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't get that printed, and that was part of the package.
Did you get
was
this?
satisfied on social media, though.
That's what you sent to the bank.
Case is dismissed. We're done. Now you want to be quiet?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's just that easy. I say goodbye to you. It's just that easy. Did you get this?
I got that in the email as a proof.
That's a yes or a not yes.
I received that, but not in print.
Did you receive this?
I got that in the email.
That's all I'm asking you. Did you receive this?
I did not. I seen this on social media. This is an old website that I had with another business that I did. This has nothing to do with Mr. Penn.
So this is the one that you did receive?
I saw on Facebook.
May I see?
Correct. This is not something that Mr. Penn created for me.
I got it. I just want to see the one that you got from him.
Correct.
You got this one from him.
He posted that on Facebook.
I want to know, did he furnish this to you?
He put that particular image on a logo that he sent to me in an email.
Other than the 3 items that I've sent to you, did you have any other communication with Mr. Penn back and forth about creativity for these business cards and for this opening salvo for your business?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Penn did do something.
He did something.
For you.
Correct.
Right. And for that, Mr. Penn cannot be totally left without compensation.
Correct.
But you left him totally without compensation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Okay. You left him totally without compensation. Now, that's partially your fault as a businesswoman, because I would say you want to do this website. It's $1,000. I'll give you $500 now, and I'll give you $500. The package, the silver package of things that you bought from him. And Mr. Penn, now I'm going to come to you, and we're going to be very, very particular.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me that the contract you had with him was totally by text message selecting this $1,000 package? Is that's either a yes or a no?
Yes, Your Honor.
So there wasn't a formally written contract. You say, Mr. Pez is speaking to you today, and the silver package might be the best due to you already have your domain and hosting. I will substitute it with the business, the logo design, $125 on the house. Okay, you get 500 double-sided flyers and print 500 double-sided business cards and print a 2x6 retractable banner and stand, single-page website with domain and hosting. This comes with design and shipping. Okay. This is a single-page website. So this is what you said is a single-page website, is that it?
No, ma'am, that's not the website.
What is a single, what is it?
That right there is part of the retractable banner. It just cut off when I printed it off.
Okay, so this is the banner.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the banner design and, okay. Now, you were supposed to send her 500 double-sided flyers.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have proof that you sent those?
No, ma'am.
You were supposed to send her 500 double-sided business cards.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you send those?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any proof that
No,
you
ma'am.
sent those?
And I can't explain.
Use?
I can't explain.
I would like to hear it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We did have a phone conversation after that.
I have not.
Don't speak to me.
She told me to go ahead and print everything off.
He never did call me, Your Honor. The only time I talked to him on the phone was when I initially placed the order. I have emails showing that he was going to call me. He never did.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Melanie's Gaskin says, graphic designer, Lawston Penn, scammed her regarding a website and promotional materials.
Who do you use as a printer?
At the time, it was all Pro Color.
How long have you used All Pro Colors?
I want to say it was going on about 6 months.
Did you pay All Pro Colors?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you pay them for 500 double-sided flyers?
I want to say between $410 or $420.
And who do you deal with there at All Pro Colors?
Usually just go on the website and you place the order, but I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, I get things for a cheaper price there than what they'll sell to the community.
Are you still doing this work, sir? You said you've been doing it for a very long time.
Yes, ma'am. It's been going on 8 years.
Great. So you would have a receipt for her work?
Through PayPal, but I don't even use them anymore. I use Square.
All Pro Colors, however, would have a receipt that they did that for you, right?
Yep, but I do not think that they are in business no more, so I had to find another vendor.
What do you mean you don't think that they're in business anymore? Why did you stop using them?
Because of delays with me having to, it only happened twice where I had to refund 2 clients because their shipping did take longer than what it was projected.
Was the plaintiff one of them?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And were the other 2 before or after her?
They were way before.
Well, if they were way before, why were you still using them?
Until I could find another vendor. And I did successfully find another vendor.
But not for her work?
No, ma'am.
Her work was done by All Pro Colors.
And I sent the tracking to PayPal as soon as I got it because I stayed on top of it.
In what month and year did you send the tracking to PayPal?
I want to say she made the claim in October of 2018.
And in order for PayPal to reverse that, is what you're saying you have to send them the tracking number?
The tracking number is the proof of the design, and usually takes up come up with a decision.
When did you get a response from PayPal?
I actually got a response to Chase, who got a response to PayPal, and I have the information from PayPal.
I'd like to see it, please.
And there was no tracking number in there. And I have an email saying that he was going to refund me.
I'd like to see it. Well, he said, I can do $650 due to the time that was spent on designing. And you say to him on the same date, if you can refund everything, that would be great. And then there is a thank you for letting me know, but I had no control over the hurricane. And can you give me a second chance, or do you want me to refund you for the site and still print the marketing materials? What?
During that day, I want to say it was October the 14th.
It is.
When she asked me to refund her everything, we did have a phone conversation after that.
I did have not.
Don't speak to me. To go ahead and print everything off.
He never did call me, Your Honor. The only time I talked to him on the phone was when I initially placed the order. I have emails showing that he was going to call me. He never did.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you understand what I said? You paid $1,000 to...
I'm not going to pay $600 to him for a piece of paper when I pay another developer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Melanie's Gaskin claims graphic designer Loston Penn failed to deliver a website and promotional materials.
Now, you wrote this to him. Hi, Louis, the only design I've seen is the business card and the logo, which needed revisions. I don't think that's worth $650. If you are saying that you've spent that much designing, we're supposed to talk on Friday to discuss the revisions, but we didn't connect. As I stated in my last email, it needs some revision, but at this point I haven't seen anything but the design for those two items. I definitely understand that you have a large clientele, but I need someone who's going to be responsive at least, so I don't think this will work out. Okay, so Mr. Penn, you have to be compensated for the design work that you did. I've sort of explained that to Miss Gaskin, whether she likes it or not, that you have to be compensated for the work that you did, even though she may not have used it. She may not have used it for business cards. She may not have used it, and you can't demonstrate to me a tracking number or anything else for the work that you allegedly sent to her, because all that she says that you sent, and you do not deny, the webpage and her business cards. That's what you say. Now, how much time did that take you to do? Is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am. About 2 weeks.
Are you telling me it took you 2 full weeks and all you worked on were these 2 pages?
No, ma'am.
How many hours did you spend designing?
It took time to draw her out as her logo. It took time to create the business cards. I wanted to start the logo first so then we can do the branding and reflect off of that.
What I'm asking you, I'm trying to come up with a number, sir. It's not worth $1,000. She didn't get what she paid for. So you have to come up with a number, or else I'll be arbitrary and pick a number.
I want to say what I said earlier, Your Honor.
That you spent 2 weeks doing these 2 pages.
To complete the designs.
Judgment for the plaintiff, because they reversed your charges in the amount of $400. We're finished.
Your Honor,
we're done.
He did the same thing to her. I didn't get anything. Nothing.
Listen to me.
Your Honor,
I didn't get anything.
Know her.
Did you understand? Did you understand what I said? You paid $1,000 to...
I'm not going to pay $600 to him for a piece of paper when I pay another developer.
I didn't.
To do everything.
You didn't even hear me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I gave you $400. You were suing him for fraudulently.
He defamed my character. He went on Facebook. No, I got messages showing what you have here.
Excuse, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We found tufts of hair and broken pieces of fence on our property.
It didn't happen, Your Honor. Nobody witnessed these dogs being attacked.
It did happen. His dog was attacked. His dog was injured.
Judge Judy.
As far as Louis, I don't wish him the best of luck at anything.
I won't disrespect you, so don't disrespect me.
I've never used any of his product. I never printed anything.
Because she's a scammer.
I never used any of it. I had to hire somebody else to recreate everything.
Other graphic designers, I have proof where they said that she goes through a lot of vendors.
Definitely, you know, tell people to stay away from that company.
And 9 times out of 10 that she does the chargebacks or the claims.
I don't agree with paying him $600 just to get a piece of paper and stuff that he designed.
So the lies and speculations, I'm just glad I was able to come here and defend my company.
Did her new tenant have a secret past?
You found out that he had a more serious criminal history.
She knew my criminal history before.
Now she's terrified about today.
Did you post this?
Yes, I did.
Considering your history, I wouldn't have put this up for a millisecond. This is pretty dumb.
This is Judge Judy.
Craig Veal is suing his former landlord, Jennifer Zachrison, for the return of rent and security deposit, hotel costs, and an illegal lockout.
Order. All rise. It's case number 166 on the calendar, the matter of Veal versus Zachrison.
Thank you,
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Zachrison, I'm going to start with you. It appears that you have a large home, or did, and that sometime in October of 2018, you made a decision, for whatever financial reason, that you wanted to rent a room out in your house. You put an ad in the paper or in Craigslist or something? What did you do?
Facebook.
Do you have a copy of that ad?
I sure do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Oh, bird.
You okay?
I thought I was going blind. It's not that I'm going blind. It's just that I haven't cleaned my glasses and probably... Perfect. Ah! Okay. 2 rooms for rent in a beautiful house, $300 deposit, 2 years consistent work history. Rent is $300 due on the 1st and the 15th. Bathroom, all utilities, laundry, about us. Mom works for a tech company. We work hard, so we play hard. We have a 16-year-old son. And then you said about you looking for someone who travels and needs a room occasionally. So you were looking for somebody to pay you a full month's rent, but only use it part-time.
Yeah, so I was kind of weird about sharing my bathroom with every stranger.
You're asking for somebody to pay a month's rent for a room and a bath, but who works a lot and doesn't spend much time there. Okay, well, that's nice work if you can get it.
Short term.
And it really actually doesn't make any difference because once they sign a lease, they can be there as many days as they want.
Sure.
In any event, the plaintiff answered your ad. In what month did he move in?
He answered my ad on November 28th, but he moved in December 1st.
And he paid you when he moved in or before?
He paid me 2 days before.
And what did he give you?
He gave me $300 deposit.
As you requested?
Yes.
And then?
And then he also gave me $600 in advance, or first month's, and $600 for last month's.
So he gave you first and last.
Right, and I wasn't actually going to take that. However,
I don't care whether you were going to take it or not going to take it. You took it for December.
Yes.
And a deposit.
Yes.
And on what date did he move out?
He moved out on May 15th.
In the middle of the month?
Yes.
At your request?
Yes.
That would be a yes or no?
Yes, it was.
That's a yes.
Yep.
Had he paid May's rent?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a yes.
Yes, he did.
Had he paid April's rent?
Yes, and he also paid for June. So this is, he moved out 6 weeks prior.
Just a second.
Okay, sorry. I didn't want you to forget June.
So from December 1st, when he moved in, until May 1st, he was consistent in paying you his $600 a month rent.
Correct.
Did he sign a lease?
He did.
I'd like to take a look at it.
This is the original.
Do you have a copy of your lease, Mr. Vale?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is that how you pronounce your name?
Veal.
Veal. So he was actually paid until June the 30th, 2019.
Yes. Yep.
Because that was the end of the term of the lease.
Yes.
Well, one lease is different from the other.
Really?
Really? Is this the lease you gave me?
No, ma'am.
That's mine.
That's yours. And is this the lease that you gave me?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the lease, there's no alcohol on the premises.
True.
If any legal issues arise, you will be asked to leave the property within 24 hours.
Yep. And?
That's a yes. Well, that's what his says.
Okay.
And this copy is yours, which says no alcohol on premises, no women, no sleepovers. After that, if any legal issues arise, you will be asked to leave the premises. Well, so either one of two things happen. Uncross your arms. Either someone whited out no women, no sleepovers, because his doesn't have it, or someone added and made a copy and put in no women, no sleepovers.
That's the original lease, ma'am.
It's not. That's not true,
Your Honor.
No, this is not the original lease. This is a copy. Uncross your arms.
Oh.
This is a copy.
I apologize. Well,
this is a copy of the original lease. So if you have the original, I would like to look at it.
Can I see what you have?
Absolutely.
Please.
Your Honor, mine was that.
No. Yep.
Just a second.
So if you notice the coffee stains on top.
No, listen to me. Don't show me coffee stains.
Okay, sorry.
Either somebody whited out no women, no sleepovers, or somebody added it, because they're both copies. So somebody has to have the original. Now, you're the landlord.
Yes.
An original.
Well, this is what we signed actually physically on the table.
Listen to me carefully. You sound like an intelligent woman. Whoever wrote that ad is an intelligent person. Either one of two things happened. Either the plaintiff whited out and then copied no women, no overnights, or you added, because I assume that's your handwriting.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Or somebody added those words and then copied it, because that's a copy and this is a copy. Do you understand what I said? Don't try to tell me about coffee stains. I'm not interested in coffee stains unless you have the original lease. Do you have the original lease?
This is, so I had surgery, so I had just gotten out of surgery 6 days prior, and I bought this paper right here. And this is what we signed.
Hey.
This is what I would consider the original lease, ma'am.
I don't care what you consider.
Okay.
You're an intelligent woman. You wrote an intelligent ad. You know exactly what I'm saying to you. Exactly what I'm saying to you. Okay, now let's move on. Right now, we have a tenant who signed a lease, who's paid up for the term of the lease from December 1st until June 30th. And you've accepted his rent from September 1st until June 30th, and on May 15th, you told him to move.
Well, I had
just not a well. That's either a yes, which you told me before, you told him to leave. Now, what he wants are damages and his rent back and his security back. Now, what I want you to tell me is, since I am not satisfied that those words existed, no women in the house and no overnights existed in the original lease. Since I'm not satisfied, I don't know whether they did or whether they didn't. So I am not going to find as an excuse for telling him to leave that he had a woman in the house. I want you to tell me why you told him to leave prior to the termination of his lease.
Because I was almost hit on my, because I was coming home.
Look here, stop chattering, put down the paper, and tell me why you told him to leave.
Because I was almost hit in my driveway. I just got a protective order for 10 years against this guy.
Not true.
Pay careful attention to me.
It's not true, Your Honor.
I read your answer. I'm not interested in your protective order. I read your reason for filing a protective order, and as far as I'm concerned, it was invalid.
Okay.
Because he didn't do anything to you. According to you, it said you found out about his history, you told him to move, and you were frightened. That's what you say in your answer.
So,
shh, listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen out that he had a more serious criminal history than you thought, and so you filed for a protective order against him, and probably, did you appear at that protective order?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you have an attorney?
No, I did not.
Did you consent to the protective order?
I don't quite know what that means.
Did you have a trial?
No.
Just a second. Well, either you consent to the protective order or you have a trial. Did you have a trial on the return date of the temporary protective order? You had a trial. Who testified?
No.
Who testified?
Nobody testified.
Well, if nobody testified, then you didn't have a trial.
Okay.
So either one of two things happened. Either the judge issued a protective order based upon the plaintiff's prior history and your fear, or you had a trial. Either one of two things happened. And if nobody testified, you couldn't have a trial. So I want you to tell me how that happened, sir.
Your Honor, I showed up it was a hearing, I guess, basically. They asked me what I had to say about this, and basically all of it was
not true. It was all lies, all made up.
I'd like to see the protective order that she filed against you.
It's right here. It's 40 pages long. You say she knew my criminal history before I even moved in.
No, I understand that.
No.
I understand that you were, according to you, released from prison 2 years before.
Yes.
Okay, got that. I'm just looking for what she filed. I want to see what you filed.
Oh, here's the...
Here, I have what I have that, Your Honor.
This is
Your Honor.
my copy of the finishing after the hearing.
This is the...
Hold on. Oh, I see.
Your Honor, my house was broken into, and I can't prove what it was Craig, but it was his room.
Then I don't want to hear about it.
It was his room that was broken into.
Then I don't want to hear about it. Would you show this to the defendant and ask her if this is what she filed to get a protective order? Go over the last few pages.
Yep. I'm living in fear. I had to move.
I'm just asking you a question.
This is
Your
what
Honor, here's the original...
Just a second. I asked you a question. Is that what you filed in order to get a protective order?
I filed this. Yes, ma'am.
May I see it now? Did you file that picture as well? Is what I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you post it?
Hours, it was a long time ago, yes. Yes, I did. I forgot that I even did that.
What I'm asking you is, in 2018, do you need some time to relax? I want to tell you something. This person is not moved by tears. If you want to recall this case and compose yourself, let's do that. Outside, compose yourself and come back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Considering your history, I wouldn't have put this up for a millisecond. If you want some woman to think that you're hot as a pistol, there are other things that you could post instead of this.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Craig Veal says his former landlord, Jennifer Zachrison, illegally locked him out. Jennifer's countersuing for property damage and harassment.
Mr. Veal.
Yes.
What I was asking you was, and I still haven't gotten an answer to, in what year did you post this picture hot as a pistol?
I'm thinking 2018, but I can't remember the exact date.
And what I'm telling you, Mr. Veal, is considering your history, I wouldn't have put this up for a millisecond. If you want some woman to think that you're hot as a pistol, there are other things that you could post instead of this. This is... We go back to here in the reasons that you told the judge that you were filing for this protective order, and you filed a protective order, and you accepted rent in December. That's a yes. January, yes. February, yes. March, yes. April, yes. May, yes. All of these things, you were referring to things that happened with him well before May 1st. Some things after, but well before May 1st. So you accepted rent, and he continued to be a tenant. Between December 1st and May 1st, had you ever told the plaintiff to leave the house?
Yes.
That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
When?
In April.
In April?
In April, yep.
Just a second.
We talked about you moving out.
I don't want to... I'm going to ask questions. You're going to answer them. Tell me beginning, middle, end.
Yep. So I'd come home unexpectedly, and Craig had another female. So one of the reasons women in my house, he was luring women from Facebook, and his new girlfriend just recently died. He just got out of prison for murder.
I want you to pay attention and answer my questions. I'm not going to ask you about your history, madam. I'm only interested in facts.
Yep.
Now, in April, you had a discussion with him about leaving the house.
Yep. And
yep.
Yes,
Listen,
yes, ma'am.
Yes is the answer.
Yes.
Okay. What was happening when you walked into the house? How did you see this woman?
Her car was in my driveway, and I asked Craig.
Car, just a minute.
Yep.
Her car was in your driveway.
Yep. Or a blue.
Just a second. You're not paying attention.
Okay.
Car was in your driveway. What time? Morning, afternoon, or evening?
It was in the early afternoon.
And you went into your house. Did you see the woman?
No, Craig had her hidden in his bedroom.
The answer is no. She was in his bedroom that he paid for.
Sure. But was in the lease that he's not allowed to have women over.
That is not true, madam. No, that is not true. I've already found that I am not making a judgment with regard to whether your lease excluded or did not exclude women from the house, because either somebody whited it out or somebody added it in and then copied it. So I'm not making a judgment about that because I'm not a forensic expert, and I assume neither of these people are either.
Well, why would the whole light? Can I see the lease? Would that be okay?
Absolutely. You can see his copy.
Absolutely.
And your copy. And then you'll see what I mean when I said somebody either added it or whited it out.
Why is the whole line, the top line, missing?
Listen to me. They're two separate sentences. One says no alcohol on the premises, and the next one says if there's any violation of the lease.
This is the lease that we signed together, and he was made a copy a week later.
No,
he took
I was
a picture.
not, Your Honor.
He took a picture.
Do you understand what I just said to you?
Yes, ma'am, I know. But I just want to make sure that you know.
Then you're beating a dead horse.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So on that date in April, what did you tell him?
I told him I wasn't comfortable with him having strange women in my house, and it was something that we agreed to on the lease, verbally and on the lease.
No, you can't agree to it verbally when you have a lease.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Craig Veal claims former landlord Jennifer Zackerson illegally locked him out.
Now, so the woman was in his bedroom. And when did you have the conversation with him? Was it on that date or a subsequent date?
That date as well as after.
So on that date in April, what did you tell him?
I told him I wasn't comfortable with him having strange women in my house. We had one bathroom. It wasn't, and it was something that we agreed to on the lease.
Just
verbally and on the lease.
No, you can't agree to it verbally when you have a lease.
I have it in text.
I'd like to see.
Thank you.
That I'd like to see.
Thanks.
It was never discussed, Your Honor.
Shut. Listen to me. Speak, unless I ask you a question.
Okay, right here. This is what I sent to him on May 30th. And
May 30th?
Yes, after he was evicted, he texted me and wanted money.
Just a second. After he was evicted and he had paid rent through June, he sent you a text wanting money back.
Right.
Now I'd like to read it. And then you say there, he acknowledges that the lease said he could not have women in the house.
Yes.
Well, I see what you're writing him.
Yeah, but he's right. You can just scroll down at the bottom. You can just see that he acknowledged it. I also have a text here from Craig.
He doesn't admit that that's what the lease says.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, all he says was nothing that you just talked about in a very long email to him has anything to do with you owing by the rental agreement and broke your lease when you decided to bring strangers into my home.
Luring women from Facebook and Tinder.
Just a second. And he says to you, you better look at the lease again.
Yep.
Just a second. And he says, I've already retained an attorney and will sue it if you do not honor our verbal and legal agreement. All perfectly right. Okay. You have to pay him, Bird, give that back to her. You have to pay him his money. You have to pay him his $300 deposit. You have to pay him the month of June, which is $600. You have to pay him the month of May, which is $600. So far, that's zero, $1,200, $1,500.
Correct. And then also, he also stored his whole entire house into my garage. So before he moved in on November 28th, I sent him a text that says, hey, Craig.
Just a second. I'm finished with her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm finished with her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. Your counterclaims dismissed. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A roommate is reminded of his debts.
He bought a new car right after I helped him.
She says she gave you $200 towards the down payment.
She's lying.
And what about you?
Next Judge Judy.
Obviously, I just couldn't get
any documents as she did.
This is a guy who just got out of prison for murder for 15 years, shooting his girlfriend in the face.
I told her exactly about my criminal history.
He just said that he had a domestic violence and that he hasn't been drinking for 15 years.
I owe debt to no one. I have never been arrested since I've been out.
Oh, I was in fear. Still am. I just got a 10-year protective order on the guy.
I'm ready to put this behind me and move on with my life, and hopefully I'll never see her again.
You found the dog too difficult to care for.
A steep price for an unwanted pet.
Did you ever agree to pay her $3,500 for the dog?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
You're telling me that she agreed to pay exactly what your sister paid for a puppy over a year later.
But was the pup past its prime?
The dog was now older. No, it doesn't get younger. It's not Benjamin Button. It gets older.
This is Judge Judy.
Sarah Denkler and her sister, Megan Collette, are suing Tina Sherman for the money owed for a French bulldog.
Order. All rise. It's case number 186 on the count in the matter of Denkler Collette versus Sherman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Me.
And what's your last name?
Dankler.
Okay. Miss Collette, you are her sister?
Yes.
And you purchased a French bulldog?
Yes.
When?
January of 2018.
From whom?
A breeder in Apple Valley, I believe.
Was this your only dog?
Yes.
Did you answer an ad, or did you actually go looking for the dog?
I believe I looked her up on Craigslist, and I drove up to go see the dog.
Did the breeder have a litter?
Yes.
How much did you pay for the dog?
$3,500.
And then you found the dog too difficult to care for?
No.
Well, there was some reason why you wanted to somehow relieve yourself of the obligation of taking care of the dog.
Well, I ended up getting a lot more busy at work, and I wasn't able to give her the time and care that she needed.
Fine.
She was still very young, so I know that she needs a lot of work. So I ended up trying to give her a better home.
And you told your client, because you were a client, Miss Sherman's, of Miss Collette, because she did your hair.
She wasn't a client of mine. She was a client of my sister's. Miss Dankler's.
Miss Dankler?
Yes.
And you had a French bulldog?
Yes, I do.
A male?
Yes.
How old was your male?
He is now 2.5.
And where did you get him?
A breeder.
From where?
Corona.
And how much did you pay for him?
$5,500.
So when you had a conversation with your hairdresser that her sister had a French bulldog knowledge, although you say you never discussed price, you were interested. In what month and year did that conversation take place?
March of 2019.
And how old was the puppy when you got her?
She was only a couple of months.
So this was still a very young puppy. Very saleable. That's what this case is about. You picked up the puppy from your sister. You brought it over to Miss Sherman's. Miss Sherman took the puppy. Puppy was then perhaps 4 months old.
No. The dog was about a year. The vet said it was over a year. Anywhere from
Don't tell me what the vet said. She bought the puppy in January of 2018, and you got the puppy in
March of 2019.
Of 19?
Yes.
Oh, so the puppy was over a year old.
Yes.
Then the puppy is a year and 2 months, no longer a puppy. And that's what you're suing for, $3,500. You say that was the agreed upon price. I don't believe that. Let's start from there. Because when you buy a puppy, you pay a premium for a puppy. You want a puppy, it grows up with you, they're cute, they're adorable, you pay a little bit more. When you have a dog that's close to an adult dog, and this dog was close to an adult dog, almost a year and a half old, you don't pay the same kind of puppy premium. So if what you're telling me is that the defendant agreed to pay $3,500 for a dog that was a year and a half old.
When I had talked to her about purchasing the dog, I did tell her that my sister had paid $3,500
That's okay.
for the dog.
Oh, that's the truth.
Yes.
You said my sister paid $3,500 for the dog a year and a half ago, or a year and 4 months ago, and she can't take care of it. Now I want you to tell me the conversation that you had where you're telling me that she agreed to pay exactly what your sister paid for a puppy over a year later.
Okay, so basically...
I don't want to hear basically.
Okay, so I didn't actually bring the dog over to her house until actually late April, so that's...
The dog was now older. No, it doesn't get younger. It's not Benjamin Button. It gets older.
Right, so I didn't bring it over till about late April, but when we had talked, I told her how old the dog was. I told her exactly...
I want to hear the conversation about cost. You've told me that you told her that your sister paid $3,500 for the dog a year and a half before.
Right.
I want you to tell me the conversation that you had with her about what your sister was selling the dog for. And bear in mind, if you tell me, once having told her that your sister paid $3,500 for a puppy, she agreed to pay $3,500 for an adult dog.
Okay, so she said because the dog is certified and has papers and all that, she's still able to breed the dog, she's still able to make money off of the dog, and therefore that's why she agreed to pay the $3,500. That's the only reason.
You didn't tell me about the conversation about cost.
That's what the conversation was about.
That's the tail end of what you say was the conversation. I want to hear the whole conversation. Your sister paid $3,500. Right, and?
Yeah.
Let me hear the whole conversation.
And when I had told Tina that that's what my sister was wanting for the dog, she said that she would make payments and she was willing to pay that price because the dog would be worth a lot more when it had puppies and all that stuff because it had papers and you could still breed it.
Did your dog have papers?
No.
Your dog had no papers?
My dog does not have papers.
Her dog.
She told me.
Just a second. Sorry. If her dog doesn't have papers and your sister's dog did have papers, you still can't breed that puppy and get papers for that litter.
I was under the impression she did have papers. She told me she
I
did
don't
have
care
papers.
what your impression was. What I'm going to tell you, I'm not believing you that you had an agreement with her to pay you $3,500 for this dog. I'm not buying it.
Well, I have the messages that say different.
Fine, great. I'd like to see it.
Okay, so here's the messages between me
and you and your sister. I want messages between you and the defendant. Or your sister and the defendant.
I understand.
You and the defendant, or your sister and the defendant.
Okay,
I'm not interested. Don't look confused. I'm not interested in any messages between you and your sister which indicate that the defendant says she'll pay you $3,500 in payments, and is that okay? And she says, yes, I want to see just the texts. I don't want to see that.
Oh, okay.
I want to see only messages between your sister and the defendant or you and the defendant.
Okay.
Don't say anything, just look for them. If you have them, fine. If you don't have them, tell me.
I have the messages between me and Tina right here.
You and who?
Tina.
Okay, then I'd like to see it. This doesn't say anything about $3,500.
It's the only thing that's not on there is the price, but it was the agreement of she was willing to make payments, and we had talked about the price verbally.
Did you ever agree to pay her $3,500 for the dog?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Okay. How much did you agree to pay her?
I never agreed upon any dollar amount.
Okay. Well, so I'm not reading that. The second part says, hey, sorry, I've been super busy. Yes, I'd love to get her, but honestly, right now, I can't swing that amount of money in one chunk. Just took a big hit in Vegas for work. But yes, I'd love to get her if your sis would be cool with working out something, like if I could give her a couple of payments or something, and then if I breed her too or something. That's what she said. Honestly, she's super. This is to your sister.
I know, but that message was from her to me.
No! I want to see the message from her to you. This is from your sister. This is nothing.
The only reason I don't have that message is because
I don't care what reason you don't have the message.
Okay, so then I have another message between me and Tina stating that...
Just don't tell me what it states.
Okay.
Just show me.
Okay, here's one, and then here is...
Or let her make a circle around what she wants me to read. Make a circle around what you want me to read.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
So you dropped the dog off to her in April?
Yeah.
And then in May, you said to her, I'm coming to your house today. Like, not cool, my sister is straight tripping on me. Seriously, Sarah, honestly, what you're doing isn't cool. I mean, really, you bring the dog to me, and the first hour after you drop her off, I called you and was like, this is too much. And at that point, you tell me you don't care about the money. You just didn't want her going back to your sister. So I say, fine, I'll take her. Now I've had her over a month, and I've put up with so much for her and calmed her down and basically been a hotel for her. Tell your sister she needs to pay me for all this. Where is anything here about $3,500?
Like I said, I do not have the message between me and her that say $3,500.
Very good, very good. Where's the dog now?
At Dan's house. Dan has her.
Your last name is?
Navarez.
How did you come into custody of the dog, and in what month and year?
May.
So May, June, July, August, and we're now in September. So you've had the dog about 4.5, 5 months, and you have not had the dog for 6 months. Is that right? And you clearly don't want the dog back.
If she's in a good home, that's all I wanted.
Yeah, you were able to rehome the dog and to find the dog a good home. I mean, it happened to me once or twice in my life with animals because of one thing or another, that you had to find a home for an adult animal, and you're very grateful that you find a good home, right? So now you want to find out if your dog's in a good home?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about something about yourself, sir. You came into custody of this dog when you were babysitting the 2 dogs for her when she was away.
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 39.
Do you have any other dogs other than this one?
No, my girlfriend has a dog that I basically it's just both of our dogs, but it's from her. It's an older dog.
Do you live with your girlfriend?
Yes.
So you have your girlfriend's older dog and this little French bulldog.
Yes.
Who's now a couple of years old.
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I install glass.
Do you have a vet for the dog?
Yes, but like not like an actual vet that I know like the name of it. I've just taken it to the vet like a few times, but I don't have like an actual a vet like a single one.
When you say you took the dog to the vet a few times, for what?
It had ear mites and...
When you got it?
Yes, and then to get it vaccinated.
When was the last time you took the dog to the vet?
I actually have the paperwork right here for the last time I took her.
Just tell me. Give me the month.
April.
And what did you have done?
She was there for boarding, but they usually always check her and...
No. She was there for boarding.
Later today.
The car started having trouble, and I told him that I needed a new one.
And Mr. Rodriguez helped you get a car by putting the financing in his name. And it was repossessed because you stopped making payments?
He told me to park it so it could get repossessed.
No, I didn't.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sarah Denkler and her sister, Megan Collette, claim Tina Sherman owes for a French bulldog. Tina's countersuing for harassment.
Now, I'm asking you when you took the dog to the vet.
September 22nd, 2018, and she got rabies vaccine.
Do you have the paperwork on the dog having ear mites in April?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. How do the 2 dogs get along together?
And now they get along great. They're very faithful.
Well, he seems to be taking good care of your dog. Taking it to the vet when he's supposed to, getting shots, taking care of its ear mites, getting the right diet. Are you satisfied the dog's in a good home?
Yes.
Good. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Why these are shoes? You may step out.
She was basically avoiding my calls, dodging my calls, telling me she's at the river, she's in Vegas. I have the proof. And I tried to pick up the dog many, many times, and she would not answer my phone calls.
Because Sarah showed up at my house at 10 in the morning on a Saturday and made a scene in front of my house.
So I finally went to her house, and she said she didn't have the dog anymore.
Threatened me, and eventually we had an altercation, and cops came.
I mean, I'm happy that she's in a good home. I just don't really appreciate the fact that
The dog's in a great home, and finally it's over.
she doesn't want to pay for her. It's not really right. But...
Oh, it's over.
We're no longer friends.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Rodriguez versus Cars. Step forward.
Raymond Rodriguez is suing his ex-girlfriend, Gloria Cars, for an unpaid car loan and for purchasing furniture in his name.
You have 2 causes of action, Mr. Rodriguez, against the defendant, who you've known for a long time. You had a long period of time when you were not in contact with her because she was incarcerated. When she came out of prison, you sort of began dating. And according to you, she needed certain things. One of the things she needed was a car. Now, were you living together with Miss Cars?
No.
Who were you living with, Miss Cars?
My sons.
How old is he?
How old is who?
Your son.
My sons. There was 3 of them. So.
Well, how many children are you living with?
3 of them.
How old are they?
35.
Do they work?
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a home health aide.
And Mr. Rodriguez helped you get a car by putting the financing in his name?
Correct.
When?
I believe it was 2016.
And when was the car repossessed?
2017 at the end of the year, I believe, or the beginning of this year. Not sure. I'm going to say
December,
he knows.
2018.
And it was repossessed because you stopped making payments?
It was repossessed because he told me to park it so it could get repossessed.
No, I didn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What are you driving now?
My sister's.
What kind of a car is she letting you drive?
Her 2019 Kia Sorento.
She's been letting you drive a brand new 2019 car.
Well, I'm making the payments on it, too.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Raymond Rodriguez is suing his ex-girlfriend, Gloria Cars, for an unpaid car loan and for purchasing furniture in his name.
So you drove the car 2016, 2017, and all of 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
And for how long did you make payments on the car?
For the whole time that I had it.
Why did you stop?
The car started having, and he told me that he couldn't afford the payments, to go ahead and just park it somewhere so they can come and get it.
Well, who did you expect to pay for the shortfall?
I thought he was. We were in a relationship at the time.
Well, you were living at your son's. He was living in his own house.
Yeah, he's a truck driver.
So what? Did he have his own house?
No.
Did he stay with you at your son's?
No.
Where did he stay?
I have no idea.
Well, then what kind of relationship is that?
It wasn't much of a relationship, Your Honor.
Well, it's certainly not enough to cover the shortfall on the car. Did you buy yourself a new car?
Not yet. I'm in the process.
Well, what are you driving now?
My sister's.
What's your sister's name?
Frances.
And what kind of a car is she letting you drive?
Her 2019 Kia Sorento.
And what's your sister's telephone number?
I don't know it offhand, Your Honor.
We'll get you a phone. She's been letting you drive since December. We're now in September. That's almost a year. She's been letting you drive a brand new 2019 car.
Well, I'm making the payments on it, too.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
It's just not in my name. I don't have good credit.
Can I see the letter from the bank, Mr. Rodriguez? Mr. Rodriguez, when was the last time you and Miss Carr saw each other before today?
Oh, the last time when I drove it to her house to leave it to her.
Now, when was the last time you today?
Oh.
When was the, look at me.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Miss Carr's before today?
November.
A year ago.
Yeah.
So you didn't see her after November of 2018?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'd like to see the papers from the bank. Did you try to make an arrangement with them to pay them off?
Oh, they repossessed it right before I got there. You know, I was in Arizona.
No, I'm just saying, you got these letters. This is January 2019. This is what you owe, the repossession fees or the rebates, whatever it is.
Yes.
So you do understand that if I find in your favor, the check will be made out to the credit union.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So you do understand that if I find in your favor, the check will be made out to the credit union.
Okay.
You understand that? Okay, great. So what you should do is try to speak to them and get them to consent to, you owe them $8. Okay? That you'll be clear with the credit union.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Exes battle over their broke son.
There's no question you knew that they had had a major blow-up. Don't look at him.
Next Judge Judy.
Because he didn't have the money to pay for it. He knew I needed a new one, and he told me to just leave it.
I didn't tell her to leave the car somewhere. That was her opinion.
He just said, go park the car somewhere so they can come and repossess it. So I did.
I'm over the road truck driver. I barely even talked to her.
There's just a dark side to Raymond that people just don't know.
No, yeah, that's unfair.
Yeah, I just knew I had to part ways with Mr. Rodriguez.
Oh, my God, never do that again, you know?
That he leaves